beautiful picked apart.
And look at this! Look at that!
Quick hands and get in. Wigan running riot in the brick tonight.
It is one-way traffic. Saints are in again.
And it really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Douglas!
Oh boy, oh boy, what a result we are looking at here.
They are destroying St Helens.
Outpaced, outgunned.
Saints have collapsed. Calamitous stuff.
Indeedy, who will respond? Last time out, St Helens thrashed by Hull Kingston Rovers, while Wigan were unbeaten until they went down to bottom of the table Huddersfield in a shock defeat that rang around the Betfred Super League. They clash now in the Good Friday Saints-Wigan derby. Wigan haven't won a Good Friday game here at St Helens for a decade. Will they right that particular wrong here today on Sky Sports? We're building up to a 3 p.m. kickoff. We're building up to a 3 p.m. kickoff. The Wigan fans have been in here for nearly an hour so far and packed this terrace behind us. I'm sure for you both, you're looking forward to an atmosphere, but memories are flooding back.
Yeah, it's amazing to be a part of this game, isn't it, John? It's something really, really special. It's something that every kid coming through a Wigan system or a St Helens system learns about. This is bigger than any other game.
Cast your minds back. Sam, favourite derby memory?
There's been quite a few, but for me it's back in 2010. 2010 it was the last ever derby at the old Knowsley Road. A young Sam Tonkins who couldn't grow a beard running out, and it was an amazing atmosphere. We spoke about it for so long building up to it. The bragging rights for either the Saints or the Wigan fans. Feka Paliasina running over, not sure who it is, some real poor defence.
Sure.
They don't score many of the prop forwards, but I remember the celebrations with Feka going over.
It's special footage because watch the slug here. Who were you kicking for?
Myself, I was going to get that.
Ambitious and ability.
It's horrendous.
Oscar performance.
Professional foul.
It was a real tough, gritty battle. Pat Richards finishing it off with a penalty.
You got a penalty for that? Was that when you were in the habit of trapping people's arms in
that's
tackles?
when I was manipulating the rules in terms of getting penalties, which Pat Richards got the 2 points for. But just a real big game for us, and I imagine it was the same for you Saints guys.
I'm not happy, right, because we always saw Sam scoring tries, being in the greatest 13 and all this. You get one chance, Sam. You pick me getting run over by Paliasina, the most pathetic kick, chip and chase you've ever seen. Cheers. It's your next, Brian. We're coming after you.
Right, I'll tell you what, though, you've got plenty of experience, both of you, of this great occasion, be it either here at St Helens or over at Wigan. There's a man who's going to experience this for the very first time today. We'll hear from Matt Pete shortly. But first, Paul Rowley, coach of St Helens, experiences, Jenna, a Saints-Wigan derby in person as a coach for the first time.
Absolutely, I can guarantee, Brian, that this man has watched from afar, watched this fixture in awe, I suppose. Brian just said today you take charge of St Helens for your first ever Wigan Saints derby. Tell us, what is your understanding of this occasion?
Like everybody else, really, I think even if you're not in the camps of St Helens or Wigan, I think you understand the magnitude of this game. It's the original derby. It's massive. It means a lot to the town, the clubs, and everybody connected.
One of your star players, Jackson Hastings, there's been a lot of talk about him, some whispers, perhaps some rumours that he may not play today due to a hamstring issue. He is out there in the warm-up. What can you tell us, Rolls?
Well, if he stays out there in the warm-up, he'll be playing. So, if he doesn't, then he'll join the other 12 stars that aren't playing. So, we'll deal with it.
OK, fingers crossed then he comes through the warm-up and plays. Final question for you, Rolls. No doubt you want a response from last week. What does that response look like?
A response looks like a good performance with resilience, with toughness and with confrontation, which is what Wigan Saints derby has been about for a century. So we want nothing different than that.
Well, Paul Rowley, I hope you enjoy your first taste of a Saints-Wigan derby.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll let you get on and we'll bring in Matt Pete. Matty, this is the first time in a decade that both St Helens and Wigan come into a Good Friday derby off the back of defeats. Does that add a little bit of extra spice?
I don't think so. No, I don't think it needs it. I think we're both disappointed in our performances last week, but we'll be looking forward to today.
I just asked Rolls about the response that he wants today. What kind of response are you looking for?
I just want them to play like it's Good Friday. You're playing for Wigan. You represent a lot of people, so not too much about last week, more about what we're going to do today.
One massive boost is, of course, Jay Field. He returns ahead of schedule, if you like. How much of a boost is him being back in your side?
Yeah, not really ahead of schedule. Always in line for today or even last week. So, yeah, it's a boost, important part of what we do. Attack and defence. So, yeah, exciting to have him back.
Andy Pete, good luck.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, a good sight for the Wigan Warriors fans in here in the Brewdog Stadium. Again, I'll repeat, it is a sellout here at St Helens. With us here on Sky Sports is the only other place to watch this one. Well, this week, Sky Sports, we broke into the budget and we broke out the lubricating oil for some very old and famous joints.
Things have been spicy on the pitch between Wigan and St Helens. We're here to see if things spice up on the paddle court. I'm joined by Dennis Betts, Tommy Martin, and I've just recruited James Roby for a game of paddle. Vamos. Oh, you dirty man.
Wait, go into swamp hand.
Just try left-handed. Oh! 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 Well, it bounced twice.
Oh, it bounced once.
It bounced twice.
Can we get that back on me? What do you say?
I've played with some cheaters in my time.
It bounced. It bounced and then hit the cage. You've got to hit it. You can't hit the cage. You told me you can't hit the cage.
You're not listening, Dennis. You're not listening. It can bounce and hit the cage or the glass. Off the serve, it can't hit the cage.
Well, you said the cage. You can't hit the cage at all ever.
I didn't say it can't hit the cage ever. Let. Oh. Ah!
Play on. Oh, he's hit the cage. It doesn't matter.
Should have just picked it up like Dennis did. Pick it up.
He's been playing for 10 years. Tommy, a pre-Good Friday victory on the paddle court for you. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Well done.
Well, you played.
Well done.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, we're just congratulating Tommy on his win. Is it worth mentioning, though, that the win on the paddle court might not reflect your successes against Wigan?
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think 1 out of about 40.
Really?
It wasn't many. It wasn't many times we beat Wigan in the start of Super League. Well, start of Super League, we started getting the edge over them a little bit, but pre-Super League,
Central Park.
Central Park was just a fortress.
Edwards running the angle. Betts was there! Brilliant Betts! Saints were caught out.
Robs, what about the rivalry for you? More recently retired.
Yeah. You grow up on it, don't you? You know, being from the town, same in Wigan. You grow up and you can't. It's instilled in you from such a young age, and then obviously, I suppose you grow up wanting to play for your hometown club. You end up doing it, and then obviously when you get the chance in these Good Friday games, I think it's just that extra special, isn't it?
There was always a little bit of tension between the fans, between the players. There was always you never knew what was coming that day, and it was always really good games as well. Like I say, there was always some fantastic tries.
The opening 10 minutes was just blood and thunder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's why you didn't see me till 12 minutes.
12 minutes after half time.
Yeah. Let the piano carriers do all the hard work and then just step in.
I was going to say it was always like, oh, Tommy's playing. And next thing you know, you've got the ball, you've waited your time.
I'll tell you what, I used to
Made
love
a little
Tommy.
bit of a break.
Mm-hmm. You're my favourite. I used to love Tommy Martin. He'd come up with something mad, and you just think, how does his brain work?
You think you train hard during the week, every week, and then it comes to Wigan, and it just steps up that little bit more percentage-wise. I'd give anything just to walk out for them first 5 minutes. Just walk out.
I agree.
Because the ears are standing up on your back of your neck now.
You've actually done it, so you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
So you can hold on to that and be grateful for that kind of moment.
But I don't miss playing at all, but I miss build up to Wigan week.
Does form matter in this? In a Good Friday game? Not at all.
No.
I'd have to disagree. I think your form always matters. You'd rather have good form going into these games.
Yeah.
You'd rather know that you're playing well, but there is an emotional element to it as well, where you sort of put the week to one side.
Yeah.
It means a little bit more, but you'd rather have form going into it. Usually you don't have to do a lot of coaching in these kind of games because it does itself. Everybody knows what's at stake. But there would have had to be a little bit of like soul-searching early on in the week and then recognising what's next. And how do you find that form that you've not got? And that's where the coaching's probably going to step in, and how the coaches deal with their teams this week is probably going to be a little bit different than they would have done if both teams were playing well or not.
Well, gents, thank you very much. Who wins? Quick prediction, who wins?
Wigan.
Saints.
St Helens.
St Helens. Unlucky Dennis.
Well, I've been unlucky all day. 3 of you best.
Well, they say if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and that man Dennis Betts, well, he's the greatest trier I know.
Compulsive cheater.
Who's that? Who's he talking to? Who's that with the glasses beside him there?
Martin looking cool, doesn't he? Always looks cool, Martin Fire.
Martin would be horrified if he didn't get a main mention on this. Tommy Martin's so great to see him on a Sky Sports feature as well. Such a skillful player.
Yeah, magic. He's the kind of guy people buy tickets to go and see. You know, in these days, pretty much undefendable and just excites people. And that's what people sitting in these stands, paying their hard-earned money, want to see. They want to see superstars.
We got a couple of superstars of the current generation, and we always maybe feature 2 players. They don't necessarily go head-to-head. We might see these 2 go directly head-to-head today.
Yeah, and it's Harry Robertson and Junior Nsemba, and the reason why we picked these 2 out is directly opposite each other. Harry Robertson's going to have a big job to do to deal with Junior Nsemba's physicality and his strength, and this is off the back of last week where Harry Robertson just continually got interested in big runners in front of him. He turned in and it created opportunities. This is Joe Burgess's try, but he's going to have to deal with an even bigger body this week, Sam.
Yeah, we saw last week how devastating it can be if he gets too tight. We've also seen in the past Junior Nsemba running a line through the middle of the field. To stop a man that big, you have got to brace yourself, which makes it really difficult to check and release and help your edges, and that's where Harry Robertson struggled last week, and tonight he's got a massive job on.
Yeah, and it's a different job, isn't it? He's going to be named at fullback, but he's going to defend in the line, so him and Tristan Saylor flip-flopping that role. It wasn't a great defensive day for him. If Harry Robertson wants to be one of our great players, that's where he improves.
Junior, are we seeing glimpses of Junior coming back to his very best, dangerous best?
Yeah, I don't think Junior had a massive dip. I think all it was, he was an unknown a couple of years ago, and everyone was like, oh,
he's there on Ash's selection. That was a big enough dip then.
But he wasn't playing bad. He very much could have got in that squad, couldn't he? But what I'm saying is, he was an unknown. Now he's known. People preview him. People do work on him. They know what he's going to play like, and I think he's still one of the best athletes in our game.
Do you know Junior Nsemba's biggest gift today is Jay Field? When he's running lines and you've got Jay Field behind you, the power of that.
Having Sam Tompkins, defenders.
Yeah, having Sam Tompkins out the back of shape, having Jay Field out the back of shape as a back rower is manna from heaven, because you know that defences have got to account for that fullback. They have to account for Jay Field.
He's one half of the deadly duo with Bevan French, who are so effective when they're available to Wigan. Of course, Bevan French is still a few weeks away from coming back.
Yeah, French and Field, if they aren't in the Wigan team, it tactically disadvantages Wigan, but it does more than that. It psychologically disorientates them. They can't function without them both. They just don't function, it seems. With Field back here, that's just such a bonus for Matt Peat in the derby.
Gents, I want to give St Helens a chance in this game, and I want to be fair to St Helens, because the list of absentees is quite incredible this early in the season.
It is, but we heard something in the feature there with they said, you know, form goes out the window. So do injuries. This game's bigger than a few injuries, and look, Saints are up against it. They've got a list of injuries that you'd hate to have as a coach, but today when they cross that line, there's something more on the line here, and I think they're still going to have a great dig tonight, regardless of who's wearing the jerseys.
Okay, let's have a look at who is available for both of the styles. We'll start with St Helens. Paul Rowley and his Saints side, well, they seem to be coping admirably with an ever-expanding injury list until they hit a wall last round against the champions Hull KR. With the who's out list growing by the week, it might be seen as a small mercy that his name back three is at least unchanged. Lewis Murphy and Owen Dagnall alongside ever-present Harry Robinson, who, like John said, despite being named at fullback last week, played in the halves with Tristan Saylor as the last line of defence. With Mark Percival having to sit this one out, Matt Whitley once again answers the call and shifts across from the second row. Well, Jackson Hastings is undergoing a fitness test as we speak with the St Helens on his hamstring. We believe, though, he is past fit to face his former teammates. Prop George Delaney, another injury loss after last round, so Ignatius Passy is promoted from the bench, as his first choice hooker Darrell Clark, who made his return last week. That pushes Jake Winfield into the back row alongside Joe Shorrocks, who arguably gave the performance of his career as a makeshift standoff for his old team Wigan in 2023's Good Friday derby. Saints had to dip into the loan market in these lean times. Hull KR sending prop Jordan Desiree and hooker Bill Leyland their way, both standing by for their Saints debuts. John.
Yeah, it's a big day. If you look at number 16, Matt Whitley, Dagnall, and then they're going to have Harry Robertson inside them. Those three players are going to be crucial with dealing with Nsemba and Field.
All right, Wigan coach Matt Peake could have found few positives in their shock defeat to Huddersfield. His side's expected response has been helped by the return of flying fullback, as we said, Jay Field. Missed the last 4 following an appendectomy. On the wings are milestone men Zach Eckersley, who makes his 50th Wigan appearance, while Liam Marshall celebrates his 200th Super League game for the Warriors. Adam Kieran and stand-in centre Liam Farrell continue in their roles. Still no Bevan French. The superstar stick on the way back, we hope, in the next few weeks for Wigan. So once more, crucial experience and increasing expectation on the talented Jack Faramond, who has the experienced Harry Smith to help him in the halves. Block your ears if you're a Saints fan shaking your head at injury issues. For the 7th straight week, Pete names the same starting pack with Havard, O'Neill and Thompson in the front row, Walters, Ellis and Junior Nsemba in the back row. Noah Hodkinson, who pulled off a couple of superb try-saving tackles against the Giants, keeps his place in the 17 and deserves his place, Sam Tompkins, in the 17.
Yeah, he was really, really impressive when he came in to fill some massive boots of Jay Field, but now Jay Field's back. This Wigan side looks like a side that's going to go on today with an amazing performance. The confidence that Faramond and Smith are going to have, knowing that Field's out the back of any shape, is just so good for him in the game like this.
Yeah, he just adds 20% of confidence and belief to everyone else, doesn't he? He's that good.
OK, locally based members of the armed forces have delivered the matchday ball here in front of a sellout crowd. Here it comes, flying into the Brewdog Stadium. Will it be delivered for a game that St Helens win? I know, nice style at the very end.
That's a good pass.
Armed Forces Rugby League side. Will Matt Pete emerge victorious? Will Paul Rowley pull off a shot? You both have gone for a Wigan win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a battle. I think I'm really excited to see the opening exchanges. I want to see who gets the front foot in the first 10 minutes. I think we're going to be too good in the end.
I thought Saints until I got here today and Jay Field's in the team. Now I think that one inclusion is that big. It's worth maybe 10, 12, 18 points to Wigan Warriors. He gives that much confidence and collective belief to his teammates. It's crucial he's in.
One swallow doesn't make a summer, John. So they say. When is summer coming our way? It doesn't matter. We've got a derby game here on Sky Sports in this very special Good Friday. And your commentary team for this one of the highlights of the calendar is Kyle Moore and Dave Woods.
Thank you, Brian. Oh, you can never get too much of this, can you? We were celebrating a 30th birthday last week. This long, good, epic Friday, we've got 3 back-to-back derbies for you. Hull KR we've seen, Bradford Leeds to come, but this one in the offing, St Helens against Wigan. It's going to be a rocking atmosphere. It'll be a roaring full house and the potential for something memorable. So many stories written as legend from this fixture down the years. It's the original derby. Wonderful welcome for both teams as well. We've had the pre-match celebrations, the delivery of the match ball, the decorations on the field as well, but we're ready for something very, very special here now, Kyle Moore.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dave, and to everyone at home watching as well. You know, there's not too many times that I miss playing the game, but this, I am very, very jealous of all the players here. Looking down at the 2 team sheets, Dave, you'd favour the Warriors, wouldn't you? But we know that this fixture, it isn't played on paper, and I cannot wait for this game here. 80 minutes, some of the finest stuff coming up.
Yeah, so many times these two have met down the years, down the decades, down the centuries. Let me remind you, this is the 3rd century that this fixture has been played in. So often, you literally, and it is a cliche, but you literally throw form out of the window. Jack Smith, the referee, Marcus Griffiths, our video rep. We're going to see Tristan Saylor putting boot to ball for the very first time to get this match underway. Headlines, if you missed it, Jackson Hastings, despite the scare, plays today with potentially a dodgy hamstring, and Jay Field is back for Wigan, and And just as you'd expect, the first contact is intense.
Yeah, it is. Ignatius passing, and then right in there too. And this is what St Helens have got to do. Last week they were beaten to the punch, pretty much in the forward pack as well. They've got to dominate these opening exchanges.
Taken in by Walters. Every inch will have to be earned, certainly in these opening stages. It is tough down the middle. Collisions are galore. This is O'Neill out of dummy half. Nasemba with his first carry, head rocks back, and shoulders firmly planted on his big chest. And one play to go, and it's going to be Harry Smith looking for that relieving kick. Left-footed downfield. Nice, well, I was going to say easy pass for Lewis Murphy. It was a bit of a spike, and he stumbles into the challenge.
Yeah, wonderful defensive set there from the Saints, but Murphy just needs to get all of that ball a bit quicker. Cross now.
Well, just as it was at the other end, suddenly St Helens find themselves in the middle of this maelstrom of defence that's coming their way. Clark, a little bit of a scoop from him, a chance to run. When Clarks are running, Saints are doing well. Picked up by Saylor. Hastings back on the inside again, and Clemmer will just carry it inside the opponent's half. Last play here, Darryl Clark. Saylor will get that kick away, and Field will be called into... In fact, the ball comes nowhere near him. It's caught in the end by Liam Marshall, and Marshall starts Wigan's attack from here as Farrell takes it on. Jenna Brooks, what do you have from us down on the sidelines?
Good afternoon, Dave. Just more on Jay Field. He missed the last 4 games after undergoing surgery to have his appendix removed. It was believed that he'd be back within 4 to 6 weeks. Well, it's just been a couple of days, over 4 weeks. Speaking to Matty Peat, he said that they always had this game in the diary for his return.
Well, he's standing clear of that little melee, isn't he? You can't blame him. But a mistake from Eckersley here, losing the ball in the collision, and St Helens are gifted good position.
Yeah, big shot there from Clemmer and Parsi on Eckersley on his 50th game for the Cherry and Whites. Comes up with a mistake, just shy of 30 metres away from his own end. First opportunity here for St Helens.
Well, Hastings is heavily strapped. He's just having a word with the referee here. Explanation from Jack Smith. Well, it's 97th Super League derby, by the way, as you can see there. 4 have been draws. We wouldn't mind one of those here today.
You want to make an accusation,
St Helens edging it.
Come over here. Time's off anyway, Jackson. Come win this captain.
I'll tell you something,
Well,
Dave.
there's an allegation, I think, being made here. So let's have a listen to the referee.
It's spat in your face. Right, we've not got anything in that from the bin. Just come over there, Jake. The incident there, we've got an allegation that he's been spat in the face from Brad O'Neill. The incident will be on report. There's an allegation he's been spat at.
It's
Brad O'Neill.
That's not a class act, is it, if it is proven, but it is only an allegation at this stage. So they'll be having a look at that. But St Helens with an opportunity. Missing 12 players who could well have been playing here today, almost certainly would have been playing. But with this, not quite second string, but certainly 13 starting side that is denuded of some talent, they have an opportunity to lay the first blow. Passing. Clark. Jackson Hastings, so much has been said over the last few days. Clemmer now. But again, it's just inches and feet they're making rather than big yards, although Clark is doing well again. And they do have plays in the bag, in fact more now, because the referee has given a restart to the count as Parsi takes it in. So St Helens can lay siege to this Wigan line, but Parsi is slow to his feet, not looking healthy. Clever with a carry, trying to get the arm free, can't do so. So here comes Clark. Shorrocks with a dummy run, back it goes to Hastings, pops it out wider still. But they go no further. Whitley, Hastings, Clemmer looking to straighten up again. He's trying a risky offload. He's just about got away with it. Parsi, and a thunderous challenge coming in on Wingfield. Clark, this is Cross. So many Wigan players down that side. There was no obvious way to go. One play to go. Hastings. It's a question asked, and December got a touch, and Field will claim it, and Wigan have possession back.
Yeah, well defended there from the Warriors. Ignatius Parsi leaving the field. I think Noah Stevens is going to replace him. There's the difficult carries now coming out of this part.
Yeah, Parsi's looking very uncomfortable as well, hasn't he, as he comes away. So that'll be a big blow for a St Helens team that is already struggling on numbers. And here comes Thompson, former Saint himself, of course, Luke Thompson.
It's a shame for St Helens, Dave, because Parsi and Clement, they were tasked with, you know, going after the Warriors, and they did so in the opening stages. Some big contact in there, and a long kick here is going to run too long.
Yeah, too big off the boot of Harry Smith. The ironic cheers from the St Helens fans, and Saints get a 7-tackle restart on the 20.
Harry Robertson there, picked out as the one to watch here. And with ball in hand, there's no question about him, Dave. Defensively, though, this season a couple of times he's been a little bit exposed. But having said that, he has been playing all over the place. A couple off the bench, a couple at centre.
Oh, that was a loose play the ball, wasn't it, by Lewis Murphy, which the referee spots and gives Wigan the advantage on the back of it.
He's exiting the ruck in a normal way.
This time, it's St Helens who come up with the error, and it's Lewis Murphy. An incorrect play of the ball. So one from Ecclesley early on. Saints couldn't make the visitors pay. It's the first time that Wigan have got a decent part of the field to go at. 5 minutes gone.
Well, you have to give the impression of trying to play the ball, don't you? And he never got close to that. What are Wigan cooking here? Ecclesley's gone in at the scrum feed. December. O'Neill quickly across, and they've got a tackle restart as well. Too much effort going on in that first effort. Havard. Stoutly does it. This is O'Neill again. Thompson. Just trying to draw a little bit of fire from that St Helens defence. Running into what is a gale of Wigan support at that end as well. Smith back on the inside, and Ellis.
Surrender!
Creeping ever closer here. O'Neill and Smith changes direction with wonderful effect. Send the St Helens defenders one way, he went the other, and now the only way is one of celebration from those Wigan supporters. Harry Smith with the early strike.
Harry Smith with his third try of 2026. But from a St Helens perspective, Dave, it's just far too easy. But it all comes about off the incorrect play of the ball from Lewis Murphy. Simple yardage error that gives the Warriors the field position. That said, there's an overchase there. Noah Stevens, Tristan Saylor leaves his post, but there's no tie-in from Shane Wright either. And the space just opens up. Wright has to shut that gap. Harry Smith scores. Disappointing. The first attack of the game, and it amounts to this. Just not doing the job, tying in through the middle part of the field, Dave. It's just too easy.
They all fell for it, didn't they? Nobody responded, and Smith with a try, and now Adam Kieran will have a chance to add a further two.
And that said, it's wonderful vision from Harry Smith to see that out the corner of his eye, that Saylor's gone. Wright hasn't tied in.
Wigan fans, as you'd expect, in great voice. Look at the scenes behind the St Helens hardcore at the other end, barely moving at the moment as Kieran looks to add the two, and does. And Wigan have that early lead. Less than 8 minutes played, and they lead by 6 points to 0.
It was a worry for myself coming into this game that Wigan would score early. Physically, St Helens, they were good down that end of the field, but an error coming out of yardage, and that there just needs to be better through the middle part of the field.
Well, as we often say, a test now of temperament for St Helens. Paul Rowley's side heavily beaten by Hulkingston Rovers last weekend, of course. Wigan suffered indignity of their own with defeat at home to Huddersfield, but how do Saints pick themselves up here? Well, they've started positively with that defensive effort.
Yeah, one of the bright lights so far, Noah Stevens leading this time with the right contact and driving Wigan back.
Well, we saw Iggy Parsi limping off not that long ago, and Jenner you have news?
I have confirmation it was a hamstring injury. He's gone straight down the tunnel and is currently being assessed.
Thank you, Jenna. Now is the moment when he picks up that hamstring injury. Whether he's gone for the game or not, you'd suggest he had, but we shall see. This is a 40-20 attempt, by the way, but he ain't going to skip to the touchline.
Such a strong part of his game, isn't it, Harry Smith? His ability to kick long into space. Murphy would have a chance.
It's really good from Murphy because there was every chance of them being pincered in there, weren't they? And Saylor comes skipping away as well. It's a great response from St Helens with these opening 2 plays.
Yeah, a couple of quick carries there, just trying to speed it up. Shorrocks right there, just met it by Farrell and Smith, brought down.
Well, Harry Smith had every right to believe that his side could defend St Helens much deeper than this, but Saints have found a spring in their step. Clark, Shorrocks and Hastings, and here is Wingfield, but not for far and not for long. Saylor. Marshall put his name on that quite quickly. Saints' defensive line is good. And it's a penalty as well. Well, it's an easy escape here from Wigan. Indiscipline from St Helens.
Just wait.
Too long on that occasion. Liam Marshall, his 200th Super League appearance for Wigan. Just fighting, Dave. Gets his side a penalty, and Harry Smith's boot just invites the Warriors back inside of St Helens half here.
Well, those are Wigan's top try scorers in derbies, as you can see, and we saw Chris Radlinski, chief executive these days, looking on. He's very much up there, isn't he? Tommy Makinson, I don't think many will be surprised by his name at the top. Some great names in that list as well. Here's Thompson. This now is O'Neill. Ellis to Smith, and inside for Nasemba, who sought a path but upended by Clark. Quickly played. Havard. Wigan again are sensing a bit of adventure here. O'Neill. It's a little grubber from Farriman, but it beats the chase of both him and Kieran. And it will be a tap back on the 20.
Yeah, just wanted a little bit off this. It was on. There was nobody at home. But just too long. 7 tackle reset again.
Murphy looking for the escape route again. Hastings jogs across.
That's a penalty. Yeah.
Little unnecessary, that, wasn't it?
Just the play of the ball, just caught the whole defensive line out from Wigan. They jump forward. Jack Smith with no option here.
So Saylor's clearing kick will give St Helens a starting point halfway there. Where do they go from here? Here's Wright. Early stats, you can see that Wigan dominating in terms of possession and completion, but it's St Helens at the moment who are trying to provide the response. Shorrocks. Now Clemmer. Wigan's defenders rushing up quickly. Clark again, rolling out, rolling left. Hastings and Saylor. Oh, and again well met Kieran with the read. As Wingfield tried to express himself. Hastings. Dummy shown, but door doesn't open. And 1 play to go here for St Helens. And still 20 away. Saylor finding a bit of a gap. He was looking for the post and very nearly caught that. Well, it was aimed at the post, but it's Field who drops on it, and Wigan escape with a dropout.
Yeah, it was a wonderful idea from Saylor. 20 out, just hit that right post and does. Sometimes you get the bounce off it. Harry Robertson in pursuit, but Jay Field just there to put the brakes on and mop up that. We're going to get 6 more here, St Helens.
He's had a bright start, hasn't he, Tristan Saylor? Last year and a half or so as a St Helens player in terms of the points he's been scoring.
It's not only that, Dave, he's averaging 194 metres out of backfield. Comes up with quite a lot of offloads as well for St Helens.
Hastings to Clemmer. O'Neill quickly out there. There was not much room at all for Clemmer to make his presence felt, and Clark goes left, and here's Shorrocks, and now Stevens. Saints attack just reassembling itself here. Hastings taking control on that right-hand side, but can't squeeze through. Quickly played. Clark picks up. Shorrocks. Robertson with a quick pass. Crosses put it down. It's almost picked up by Eckersley. It was played out, so when Murphy does come up with it, it's Saints who can play on the zero tackle. They've got a set of 6 to go from here.
It's important that they come up with something here, St Helens. A wonderful opportunity.
Stevens again. Carting it in. Clark waiting. Shorrocks behind him. Here comes Shorrocks now. It's now with Hastings. Sailor on that right-hand side. Lovely little offload from him. And used Whitley, the outside man, with wonderful success. Just hypnotised the defenders ahead of him. And Matt Whitley strikes goal for St Helens.
I felt it was important that they came up with something in that set. And 2 plays later, it's Matt Whitley who crosses over for his first of 2026, and how important may that try just be. It gives St Helens a real shot in the arm. It's them that arrive here today with 11 or 12 of their starting 17 out of it. But it's Shorrocks at the back to Hastings and Sailor. Just look at this, in and away, the flick pass. And then Whitley just gets over in that corner. What a great response.
Well, he was Billings born, wasn't he, Matt Whitley? I think he grew up as a Saints fan, didn't he? But he was born right on top of the hump. If you're not used to the local geography, Billings is the bump that separates the 2 towns of Wigan and St Helens, where neutrals dare not tread. And Whitley, having been born there, strikes with a wonderful, wonderful try that his coach adores.
He certainly would have enjoyed that one. But the skill on the inside from Sailor. I said he'd come up with a number of offloads for Saints, and he gets another one there. The left fend, the flick. And Whitley does the rest.
Tristan Sailor, this is his 41st consecutive St Helens appearance, but he can't anchor 2 points just at the moment. And Saints remain behind, and Wigan with that slender lead still, 6-4.
Yeah, it's been a decent opening 16 minutes. Harry Smith's try, almost nullified here. The flick from Sailor there, he just gets Farrell interested. And Whitley, he does the rest.
He's enjoying the moment. St Helens fans enjoying the moment, but Wigan will have enjoyed the majority of the start to this game. And we go again with Murphy on the catch on the fall, and St Helens having to start from deep once more from a man who's doing earlier minutes than he expected, Noah Smith. And Clemmer will carry on the drive.
Big game for Clemmer, only 8 metres gained last week, a 25-minute stint, and he might have copped it. He's claiming there was a Crusher-style tackle in there.
I just wonder whether Clemmer was staying down there to attract the attention of the refereeing crew. Hastings. Shorrocks and now Sailor, and this is looking interesting with Murphy considering the outside of Eckersley. The ball's been lost, and Wigan have it back. And it's a mistake that could prove costly.
Oh, he must have thought he was closer to the sideline. I've no idea what he's thinking there, Murphy. It matters not now. Eckersley, 35 away. Just look at this. It's nowhere near the sideline. Needs to just hold on to that ball.
The adrenaline of a derby taking over.
Well, it was his error that led to the first try. Penalty.
Offside against St Helens' defensive line, so an easy 2 here, but the Wigan prefer the chance of 6. Some discussion going on as to what they do next, but they are going to tap and run, I think. This is Ellis. O'Neill slotting in. Havard to his right. Suddenly numbers appearing over on that right-hand side. Here's O'Neill again. Havard just going through the heavy work down the middle at the moment of Wigan. St Helens having to repel this. O'Neill. Thompson might be the next cab off the rank. In fact, they're going the other way to Ellis. And Ellis from the closest of distances, plunges in, and Wigan have their second.
Marcus tackle 3. Just check that he touches.
I thought the first try was disappointing, Dave.
He touches the line. Just talk to the video rep. Just check he touches it first on this side before he's then held up.
Double check he didn't fall on the our arm too.
Yeah, we'll check that.
Well, he has given the try, but he's just asking the video referee to have a bit of a peep at this as well. But for the moment, Ellis's try stands. What do you reckon, Carl?
It's difficult. I haven't quite seen where it's been grounded at the moment. Maybe this angle will be best here. Because Ellis is just... Does he get it down? I don't think he does, Dave. I'm not too sure he gets that ball down. I think what Wingfield's right arm is enough. I mean... It's close.
Well, it's an extraordinary good defensive effort from Wingfield,
unbelievable. It's an unbelievable effort if he has kept that ball up.
Well, the try still stands. The referee has pointed the finger. We're not getting word just yet that there's going to be an official review. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're just being told there is going to be an official review. Let's hear from the video referee then. Marcus Griffiths.
Let me know when we've had 80.
So the on-field call is a try. So you can see from camera 9. So you can see from camera 9 that the ball and camera 1, the ball is high, does not get to the ground. We have a decision.
Then maintains possession, so tackle 4, Wigan ball.
Well, I think, you know, if you're celebrating a try and the video referee gets involved these days, it's almost certainly not going to be a try. So the Wigan fans behind those sticks are going to be very disappointed here when this official review becomes a decision of no try, and it remains as we were.
Massive play from Wingfield. I was just about to almost go in on the middle as another soft try. But Jake Wingfield, what a play this is. A big man arriving at top speed, and he does enough, does Wingfield, to get his right arm underneath the football. Wonderful tackle. And a desperate one, and it had to be, didn't it?
So Ellis denied, but Wigan still on the hunt here. Thompson has lost it, and St Helens, having survived a close no-try decision, now survive the next play as well. And hang on, we've got a captain's challenge. Oh no, the referee's given the scrum down. The referee's given the scrum down. There is no challenge, and St Helens will have possession back again.
There were two massive tackles there.
Scrum numbers, Wigan.
Thompson, of course, a former St Helens player, just spills it in front of the Wigan end.
Well, it's been a decent start, hasn't it, in terms of drama and entertainment. Reminder of the fact that this is the second derby of the day. You'll have just seen creeping along the bottom of your screen an advertisement for Bradford against Leeds. That derby's back as well. I don't think we've ever had the three big derbies in Super League all on the same day, have we? It is an absolute feast. A trifecta. PA announcers at every ground announcing this is the biggest derby in Rugby League. Everyone claims it. Clark had a dummy half. Hastings helps it on again. St Helens looking to eke out the middle. There was a suggestion of an offload. Clark. Sander again is being chased down by a couple of defenders. The kick is just hovering a little in no man's land, and Marshall had to come a long, long way to claim that. And having done that, he took it well and has given Wigan decent position. Jenna Brooks, what news down there?
Yeah, Ignatius Parsons, we saw come off with that hamstring issue after 5 minutes. Well, his derby day is officially done and dusted.
As we suspected when he limped away, but good to have the confirmation of that. Further pain for St Helens and their personnel. Boy, they've got some big names missing at the moment. O'Neill comes right. Offered back here for Thompson to have a go. One play to go. O'Neill Farrimond again, just trying to create something cheeky. Ball back on the outside, handed down by Eckersley, picked up by Farrimond, and quick as a flash, he's in to score, and the finger is pointed. And Wigan are just turning this into a little bit of a comfort zone now.
It was a neat kick from Farrimond. Disappointing effort there from Lewis Murphy again, who doesn't even contest the kick. Zach Eckersley climbs high, bats the ball back, and Farrimond's there to score his second try of the campaign. But just check this out on this left edge here. Lewis Murphy, you have to make a play, he just watches him. Your job is to go and make that ball into a contest. He leaves it, and Eckersley just climbs high. The support pushing underneath the ball isn't picked up. Walters or Farrimond, take your pick.
There was a lot of ball watching going on, wasn't there?
Yeah, disappointing, isn't it? Eckersley under no pressure whatsoever, and then nobody picked up underneath. A nice try from the Warriors.
Try confirmed in the background, so no doubts about that one. Young player to watch, isn't he, Jack Farrimond? We saw his announcement last year, didn't we, in terms of kind of bursting onto the scene. He's getting a bit more of a chance this year as well.
Wonderful footwork as well. Opportunity for him while French is out, you would think. But again, when he's got Adam Kieran, Zach Eckersley on the outside of it. 67% of the tries that the Warriors scored, Dave, are down that right channel. That's a 23rd out of the 34 that they've scored this season.
So Kieran, with that trusted left boot, starts it right, and with the assist of the post, just swings in. And Wigan lead by 12 points to 4.
Farrimond on this right edge, lifting that ball. Lovely weight on it. With the left edge of St Helens. Just make it too easy. What about this? Kiss the post and over.
It's 492nd point for Wigan, by the way, Adam Kieran. So he's closing in on a quite substantial point-scoring landmark as well. Havard. Saints desperate to keep their opponents at this end of the field.
Jordan Desiree out there for his first involvements in a St Helens shirt. Dealt with Thompson on that occasion.
Remember that Desiree and Billy Leyland both signing on loan from Hulkingston Rovers this week to patch St Helens' numbers up. But it's Wigan who are finding the front foot again here. O'Neill. It's back with Smith. He's in 40-20 range, but it's just going to be short. Sailor watching it carefully.
Attempting there for Harry Smith to go for it. Sailor was on the scene. Even if it was going to get there, he'd have batted that ball back in, but such a good kicker of the ball, isn't he, Harry Smith?
Just feels like the majority of the game has been played at this end of the field so far, doesn't it? One way or another.
I mean, it does. Again, you know, we mentioned the number of injuries that St Helens have got, and the times in this game it's always going to be difficult for them. Just see the possession. It's actually in favour of St Helens, Dave. All for a similar completion rate. But ultimately the biggest stat is the scoreboard, and it reads 12-4.
It's worth having the ball. It's where you have the ball, isn't it? That's pretty crucial, as Hastings just suggests a half break. Clark will pick up and hope that there's a bit of daylight behind that rock, which he does well. And taken on again by Clemmer.
A good couple of runs from Darrell Clark.
And there's a push. Makes it.
He's milked that, hasn't he?
An easy penalty, does it? He's not made a decision yet. Well, yeah. I think he was going to give it Wigan's way. But Jackson Hastings has lodged the captain's challenge, feeling it should be a penalty for his side. So let's hear it again from our video referee, Marcus Griffiths.
St Helens are challenging the decision of no balance and control. So we will play it from here. Clement attempts to play the ball. He then ends up falling to floor. The actions of Ellis do not cause that. Challenge is unsuccessful.
So as you were, challenge unsuccessful.
He's a better player than that, Dave. He is. I mean, first initial call was he's milked it.
Hand over. Calm down.
The video referee agrees. He just... There's nothing in there. It's not a good look, is it?
As a Premier League penalty shot, isn't it?
It's not what we want or need in our game.
Barely a touch. And Wigan again back in the driving seat now.
It's a good carry from Partington there. Straight onto the field, over the top of right.
Havard trying to get the arms free, can't do so. O'Neill, haven't seen much of Jay Fields so far, but he's just offering his services from the back. Desperate to get involved at some stage here. St Helens will be aware of that, but here comes Farriman, who's working a little magic of his own. Sailors made the first contact, 2 more, complete the job. This will be the last. Smith again goes wide. Oh, and Kieran, great challenge from Murphy, just to see that ball dislodged.
It was a bullet of a pass, wasn't it?
There's no advantage in that.
Lewis Murphy just makes a play for it, and he has to. He does enough there to dislodge that ball. Kieran can't take it in. If he does, it may have been another score.
So again, St Helens have possession, but again they find themselves at the hardest point of the pitch with ball in hand because they've got a lot to do, but Robertson has eased the pressure considerably. Sailor will try to carry that on. The reach by Whitley.
Well, 20 yards down the field there with 2 plays.
Clemmer again. Just attracting defenders as he carries it forward. There's Clark. Sailor just angling that to make it as close to the corner as he can. Field with a pick-up and a slip. And not the return that he would have wanted, but there'll be plenty more to come. This now is Marshall.
Wonderful set there with ball in hand from St Helens and finish well.
Eckersley. O'Neill just marching into position again as Kieran will be the latest to try and test the resolve of that St Helens defence right down the middle. O'Neill with a one-handed pick-up and a look to the left. Running into immediate trouble. Saints have kept Wigan to that point with the opening 5 tackles, but Smith's boot is mercurial, and again he finds ground and a bounce and a little bit of awkwardness, and Dagnall will be very, very relieved that it goes out of play.
That's the 3rd time that the kick has ran dead, but it does show you, doesn't it? If he gets the right bounce and a little bit more weight on it, it's such a threat. It gets you out of jail. It's a 7 tackle set, but I don't think Wigan will mind it. They get a good look at what's coming here.
Dominating at the moment, the side in black. Hastings, to the latecomers, was a doubt before the game, a very late fitness test on a hamstring injury.
Hold.
Here's Clark. Now cross. Wigan trying to slow things down, and Clark again is off on the hunt. We've seen that a few times now, haven't we?
He's probably been St Helens' best, hasn't he? Causing a little bit of trouble, and wins his side a penalty now. And that's a 4th or 5th run when he's got the Warriors on the back foot. Only Partington there, is it? And Sam Walters, I beg your pardon. Comes over the top with that right arm. Clark causing trouble.
Well, Sailor sticks it out of play, and this is as good a position as St Helens have had for a while now. Chance to start a set midway inside the Wigan half. Nazaria. Clark with Hastings to his left-hand side, and a little pocket there for Hastings to run into and find Sailor in quick hands and cross. Good ball with the way to Murphy. It's 1-on-1 with Field, but Classic leg grab. Jay Field stops him in his stride, but Saints have more to offer. Shorrocks, Desiree, just the muscular route. Saints fans are getting encouraged. Clark goes out of dummy half. He's not going to be called, and Clark spins and wins. Absolute classic dummy half play from a classic dummy half. St Helens have forced their way back into the contest.
And it's probably fair game as well that it's the man who scores, Darryl Clark. He's been St Helens' best this afternoon in the opening half an hour and gets his 4th try on his 60th appearance for the club, and an important score that is as well. You just see he picks up from a Desiree playing the ball, and it's Sam Walters who in that whole set has looked a little bit laboured. He doesn't get forward, and Clark, he just sees that triangle in the line. Jay Field ahead of it, Adam Kieran ahead of Walters, and there's enough space for a man of his quality to get a try in front of the western end of the ground.
I think that's 5 in 5 for Darryl Clark now. And boy, did St Helens need that. As a coach, he'll be much relieved.
And it comes off the back of the Clark penalty that he made as well with a run earlier on, and it was Walters who caught him high.
Sailors there it goes, and there are only 2 points in it now. Sailors goal, St Helens 10, Wigan 12.
Yeah, fair play to St Helens. They've had to cop a lot, but they've managed to find a way of staying in this and getting a score that they much needed, and that man much deserved.
Look at those St Helens faces. Only the 3rd number 9 in Super League's 30-year history for St Helens. Kieran Cunningham, James Roby, and now Darryl Clark.
You just can't help but think back to that Jake Wingfield tackle and how much of an important play that was. 2 points the difference.
We have a game on our hands here. Desiree, who's making some impact on loan from Hull KR. He's not yet made his Hull KR debut, has he? Debut for St Helens before his own club. Clark, he's off again, is Darryl Clark. He knew that the man ahead of him, Partington, was offside. Used that to his advantage.
There's Wingfield with his 2nd carry of that set. 2 more plays to go here.
When the Saints go marching in, he's being roundly booed by the Wigan fans at the other end. You'd be disappointed if that wasn't the case. Sailors kick. Got a bit of spin on that as well. Field readjusts, catches well. And now comes back with not exactly open field ahead of him, because St Helens' response is good. Marshall. Here's Farriman. And Liam Farrell. Playing out of necessity in the centres at the moment, of course. Farrell in the absence of Jake Wardle.
Big miss, Jake Wardle, isn't he? 6 again on the 3rd play.
Well, this is punishing now from Wigan, as Havard stalks ever closer. O'Neill comes out of there. Farriman pops it back. It's Walters who pushes, and that big frame of his carries Wigan ever closer here. St Helens desperately hanging on. Another set of 6 as well. They hung on too long. O'Neill now, back to Smith. Inside comes Partington. St Helens back to the walls, back on their own line. O'Neill skips it left. There was a hand on that, was there? No, there wasn't, but it's still play on. Farriman's got a bit of running room. He's got a skip, he's got a step. But safely cuddled in by those Saints defenders. O'Neill to Smith, and Fields involved. And we know what he can do in broken play. There's a bit of space there, but closes up quickly. O'Neill again. Partington. And he's seen a gap. Saints defence recovers well. O'Neill once more, and on the short ball, Nasemba. Well, he's got himself over the line, but have St Helens bodies got underneath that? Yes, they have. Junior. Some brave defending.
I'll tell you something, Dave. The Saints have had an awful lot to deal with in these last 2 sets, but there's 1 play left here.
Smith goes left, Farrell catches, runs into just a posse of defenders, and there's no give from that situation.
Yeah, big win for the home team there, off the back of some big, direct, powerful carries. And Helens have shut the door on them. Dagnall now with dancing feet.
And again, that's a little bit of light relief for his side as well, wasn't it? A few extra yards earned, momentum restored. As Wright gathers in 5 or 6 more. Saints now looking a little more lateral. Clark again, just controlling the situation out in only half. Wingfield tries to spin, but it's a good tight hold that Eckersley's got. 2 plays to go. Hastings, Shorrocks, Saylor. A bit of pace on that far side as well, but Robertson stopped in his stride. This will be the final play. Saylor again. He's looking to hit the ground if he can and hope for an awkward bounce, but it's kind enough for Field. And Field again searching here, but running straight into the arms of Wright.
Yeah, that Harry Robertson carry just allows Saylor to get a little bit more on that kick. He does catch it awkwardly though.
He goes on the field. He usually offers an impact, doesn't he?
So many quick play of the balls he generates. Here comes Walters.
Walters galloping again. Doesn't do big minutes, doesn't Mago, but he can make a difference in tight margins. Partington to Ellis. Oh, and he's giving it away! Giving it away! So a gift for St Helens, Whitley. And here comes Cross. A no-look pass that has consequences. Clark marches in once again. Clemmer's done well. Good trap of the ball as well from Darryl Clark. Nice little show of his football skills. Shorrocks in there. Hastings. Infield held up safely enough, but there's one that play to go. St Helens have one more ace up their sleeve. Hastings with a kick. It looks a little too deep, that. Yep. Smith with an easy catch. But Wigan will have to start from a tough position.
Yeah, too flat as well. Never gave any of his right edge any time to pressure.
Oh, here's Marshall looking on the outside, but Robertson kept pace.
December. Nothing down there, splitting the match stats at the moment. Favourably in St Helens' favour in metres and possession, but they are chasing the board by 2.
Yeah, if you suddenly dropped into the game and saw those stats and saw that scoreline, you'd think very even game, but Wigan still dominant, aren't they? And had the better position of the match so far. One to go. Smith just looking for touch here. A little bit of game management, puts it out, slows things down ever so slightly, and St Helens will start from the back again.
You're probably right, Dave, on reflection. Where Wigan have had the ball has been largely in their favour, but St Helens, I keep going back to that Jake Wingfield tackle and how important that was. Now, whether it goes on to be that important at the end of the 80 minutes, or that remains to be seen. But certainly in the context of this half, that was a huge, huge play.
A real commitment to the game. But then, just like Matty Pete said, I love that line from Matty Pete before the game, his message to his players, just play like it's a Good Friday. And that tells you all you need to know, isn't it?
Well, it's not always the big plays that win Good Friday, it's the desperation efforts. Of course, Jake Wingfield, they are behind by 2, but I've no doubt that if they go on and win this game, then that'll be a huge, huge mention. Shorrocks.
Saylor. It's grabbed from behind by December, but not before he got the ball away. Shorrocks again. Hastings. And Wigan numbering up. Kieran doing his job. Here's Clemmer. It's a stride into that challenge. Just attracting 3 defenders. Plays the ball here. Saylor's being chased down hard by Brad O'Neill. Field with a kick. Immediately offers the opportunity for Marshall to have a run, and St Helens up there quickly. 90 seconds of the half remaining. That has absolutely flown by. Here's Kieran. It's O'Neill. Smith coming at pace. December coming with power. And with the offload. And Smith now will skip on again, and a kick to a corner because the chase is on with Field. Sailor's there as well, so it's pace against pace, but Field always starting from a distance back, and Sailor clears the danger.
Yeah, well, as soon as he gets the ball in hand off Nsemba, he just knows he can put boot to ball. Jay Field just chasing down, and Sailor, he reacts positively, gets back, knocks the ball dead. They've got a couple more players here before the half-time hooter goes.
Darryl Clark has taken an absolute age, by the way, to get... There he is with a bottle of water. He has taken an absolute age to get there. He's been reminded the shot clock's on. There's only 5 seconds of that remaining. Tristan Sailor's having a look. He's going to milk every second of that, because this will be the last set you'd imagine that Wigan have with ball in hand at the end of this first half. They dearly love to score again. Saints desperate to hang on. This could be a key minute in the story of this game. Set of 6 starts again. Partington drives it in. Here's O'Neill now, wanting it delivered quickly. Finds Smith. Looking wide to Kieran. Has to reach. Lost possession. Murphy loses 2. Too many knock-ons for that to continue. And St Helens will get it back.
Dion Cross on that occasion there, just doing enough to put off Adam Kieran. Love the way across, double defence there, checks his lead and then pushes off hard. And does enough. You just see the change of leg speed. And that's 2 now for Kieran. Comes up with the drop. And that'll be all she wrote.
Well, the hooter sounds at the end of that first half, and it's been a really good battle as well, hasn't it? At times St Helens may be hanging on, but they've hung on well, and Wigan, well, a deserving lead for them at half-time, you'd have to say, but it is only a slender lead at half-time. It's St Helens 10, Wigan 12.
Dave Kyle, thank you very much. Jackson Hastings and St Helens, well, they make their way back to the change rooms here. A sellout crowd at the Brewdog Stadium. Majority, of course, St Helens fans will have been very happy with what they have seen. They may trail by 2 at half-time. After this Jack Farriman try assisted Wigan into a 12-10 half-time lead. But the Saints, with all their absentees, very much in this Good Friday thriller. We're halfway through the second of our trio of Betfred Super League derbies this Good Friday on Sky Sports. The Wigan Warriors have a 2-point half-time lead over an injury-hit St Helens side that have given as good as they have got in the first 40 minutes here at a sold-out Brewdog Stadium. Let's have a look at the stats after the first 40 minutes. Possession is, shall we say, 50-50. You would look at that and not know that Saints had a side of absentees sitting on the sideline here at the Brewdog Stadium. John Wilkin and Sam Tompkins joining me here pitchside ahead of this one. Atmosphere building. St Helens fans, you would imagine, very happy at half-time. We're going to get straight into the analysis. A game that started with a spitting allegation against Brad O'Neill. Jake Winfield making that allegation, put on report by the referee, will be dealt with during the week.
Yeah, we overheard it come through on the referee's mic. A strong allegation, isn't it, from Winfield? I mean, this is what we think that it's relating to. It looks like maybe a spitting motion from Brad O'Neill. Look, people will have a look at it. I'm not sure there's much in it myself, but you know, there's errors from St Helens, and that just gave Wigan some field position. This is a really interesting try. Harry Smith just ducks back to the inside, and he just takes the space that Tristan Sailor vacates, Sam.
Yeah, so Tristan Sailor's job is to defend the ruck. As soon as the ball goes past, get out the back of the line. Stone has got to cover that space. To leave a space that big in the middle, I don't think Tristan Sailor's done a great amount wrong there.
Yeah, no, and it was this was the half. It was tit for tat. It was you score, we score. It was Tristan Sailor's beautiful footwork that gave Matt Whitley on a plate. But I love this footwork. If we can see this slowed down, he eyeballs the defender in front of him, skips to his outside. Liam Farrell has to be interested, Sam.
Yeah, so if Liam Farrell doesn't come in there, then Tristan Sailor goes straight through. I think it's a mismatch between Smith and Sailor there.
So it was try and then a response, and it was St Helens not going away, essentially. Wigan looked like they could get away. Saints pegged them back twice.
St Helens finished that that half, defending their try line heroically. Jake Wingfield came up with a try-saving tackle on Kate Ellis. It was quite remarkable.
But I thought St Helens defended the line incredibly well. There was a couple of them. This is a Herculean effort from a one-on-one against a big man. Went up as to be reviewed, came back down, no try. Massive effort, huge effort. Those efforts, the physicality efforts have been there for St Helens. Farriman ultimately comes up with a try, chases his own kick. Opportunist. Everybody's sweating on Harry Smith kicking the ball, and that's left Farriman some joy.
Yeah, Farriman's been very good in that first 40. He's been everywhere. He's causing some real problems for the left edge of St Helens. He's quite unpredictable.
Yeah, and what you love to see for St Helens is any quick ruck, Darryl Clark running, it wins a penalty. Sam Walters hits him high, but it leads to field position, and then there's a disconnect between Farriman and Walters here, Sam.
Yeah, I think Farriman's get off your line, go and defend the threat. Walters has hesitated a little bit too long. Walters should never be letting Daz Clark get on his outside there. That's got to be a left shoulder tackle from Walters when he's got so much time.
You have to get up. If you're on goal line, you can't sit 2 yards off your line and expect somebody as good as Darryl Clark to not take advantage. But a good half. Saints responded,
If you're
didn't they?
Paul Rowley, surely with those absentees, it's worth mentioning, you'd be very happy with what you've seen that first 40.
He'll be really happy that the stats are 50-50. They've had enough possession to put some pressure on this Wigan side. They've defended their own line really well. Massive contrast to what we saw from the St Helens side last week. So I think Paul Rowley will be the happier of the two coaches right now.
Yeah, they got the physicality right, which they got really wrong last week. But Ignatius Parsi, his hamstring injury, the one down on the bench, one big man down. The back end of this game is going to pinch St Helens more than Wigan.
Some of the big guys were out on their feet at the end of that first 40 minutes as well. Of course, if you were with us last week, we had the 30th birthday celebrations, Super League, 30-year anniversary, all of those on Sky Sports, of course. And the weather got the better of us at AMT Headingley Stadium. And we had, as we revealed, the all-time team, as voted for by fans, a cake, a very special cake, that we can bring in here now. A former England international and Bradford star Dave Redfern from back in the day carrying it in. So Sam, we thought we'd get you to, or John, you can slice open a cake. Pit of the cake for Sam.
Which
we thought it was Kyler Moore. Is that me?
I'm not sure.
Well, thanks very much. Cut him a slice of that cake.
Slice. You want me to do a slice?
Sam, I don't know if I even asked you last week, your thoughts on being named by the fans as fullback in team of the 30 years, 3 decades?
Yeah, it was special because I know how difficult it was for myself picking that side and leaving out so many people. To be put up there with people like Chris Radlinski and Paul Wellens, it was very nice. I'll feed myself, John. Thank you.
It's held on for a week. Can I whack?
We need to talk about this.
I know you've got ambitions, Sam.
Eddie and Steve.
I can only dream.
That's not true because it's a scoring motion.
He hasn't dropped it. Just take the ball away. Oh, that's destructive.
Sorry. Allegation, get it on report.
It's all getting away from us here at the Brewdog Stadium. We're at the halfway point in the Saints-Wigan derby, and the visitors with a 2-point lead. Match ball delivered in style, and you would say a stylish first 40 minutes from both of the sides. Everything you'd expect in a derby. Second half on the way here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to our Good Friday coverage from Rivals Round in the Betfred Super League. Just a reminder, it returns after a 12-year absence. So the Bradford Bulls will have their biggest crowd in over a decade as they host the Leeds Rhinos tonight in the Yorkshire Derby. Here's Sky Sports Plus, 5 to 8 for that one. We'll continue our coverage of Rivals Round tomorrow with 3 live games for the Betfred Super League. And we'll kick it all off with the NRL Round 4. Titans-Broncos, 9:30 a.m. on Action and Main Event. And then we will roll into the Betfred Super League, starting with Huddersfield-York, Warrington-Lee, and then we'll finish it with the all-French clash of Catalan Dragons and Toulouse Olympique. Castleford expecting their biggest crowd of the season so far on Easter Monday as they welcome Wakefield Trinity to the One Bore Stadium. That's 5 to 3. Sky Sports Plus on Sunday. Make note of that one. Just a reminder, it is 2 points between the sides here at a sold-out Brewdog Stadium. Injury-ravaged St. Helens, well, they have been very, very dogged in that first 40 minutes, a trail by just 2 against the Wigan Warriors. Sam thinks Paul Rowley happier of the 2 coaches. What can he do to maybe shock Wigan here?
Well, I think that the Darrell Clark try in 30 minutes was massive. You know, that just being so close to Wigan now at half-time, they're a chance. They've just got to play this game deep and long. This could go to 70, 75 minutes, 80 minutes before we find out who's going to win, and they've just got to be patient enough, St. Helens, to wait for a chance.
Yeah, I think Saints can be a little bit more inventive in attack. I think they've played it a little bit too safe, that 40. They need some points.
Well, we cut the Super League's 30th birthday cake during the... and look who demanded a slice. And he's straight into it, the Gruffalo himself.
The big lad.
Just polished off a steak pie, little bit of cake afterwards, and 40 minutes of action here on Sky Sports. Let's see what was said at half-time by crossing down to Jenna.
Yeah, thanks very much, Brian. Matty Pete said that he's really happy with the position that his team are on in at the minute, given they are here at the home of St. Helens. Spoke to Paul Rowley. Said to him, given the players you're missing, Rolls, you must be delighted with that first half performance. He said, we're calm. So calm, I can tell you, he was just having a half-time snack, eating some nuts, if you like. But back to you, Dave Woods.
Thank you. Eating at half-time seems to be a bit of a theme. I'm not sure we're going to be hearing from Kyle. I've known him for a few years now, and when there's cake on offer, I know what takes precedent. We might not hear from him in the next 40 minutes. Anyway, it's set up wonderfully well, isn't it, for that next 40 minutes. St. Helens 10, Wigan 12. Just the 2 points. That's easily overcome, and on a day like this, in a game like this, Good Friday fare, who knows what happens next. As Harry Smith gets us underway, and a swirling kickoff as well that's causing some early problems, but St. Helens and Murphy just about keep hold of possession, and Saints start from here with Wigan rattling in, but rattling in a little too hard and a little too high. The penalty goes St. Helens' way, and a tap as well from Saylor has got things underway very quickly as well.
Yeah,
so,
a little bit of a...
Oh, you're back with us, eh?
The cake is eaten. No, a little bit of a sloppy start there from Wigan. Play to carry. They give a penalty away.
And both sides looking desperately to get on the front foot in the early stages of this first half. Talk about the 12 missing for St. Helens, make it 13 with Passy having gone off as well, but you know, we're going to deny 2 of their stars, of course, Bevan French and Jake Wardle, so both will point to certain hardships. Jake Wellesby, one of the dozen or so watching on from the sidelines. The ball's gone backwards, but not now. Off the fingertips of Clark.
Yeah, I've got the one from Saints.
And it's going to be Darrell Clark who loses his ball, Dave. The impact on Stevens, just over the top there. And that goes backwards.
Oh, hang on. Is there a case there?
Maybe the right arm onto it, isn't it? Just keep your eye on Sam Walters as he comes over the top. Does he catch the top of the ball? Well, you think on that occasion he does.
Well, there's no challenge because St. Helens have lost their challenge, so Wigan will carry on. This is Field. Caught before he can find any kind of pace, with Dion Cross making the tackle. And Walters can come galloping forward again. Long-legged, big fella. O'Neill. Partington with that angle run finds a position. O'Neill to Smith and quickly to December. O'Neill again. Smith. Ellis looking for a straight path. Trying to get the arms free as well, but he can't do that. And here comes the last, and Smith quickly into action. Field, quick hands. Farrell has to find a route back towards the middle. It is still the last tackle, but he's got it away to Partington. And Smith now can change direction. And this is Field. And Field now to December, who finds himself in that left centre's position. They're keeping it alive here. It's a kick by Partington, but it's an easy take for Murphy, though he is outnumbered immediately by Wigan defenders. But he finds the ground.
A bit of hot potato stuff there from the Warriors, but Ollie Partington's kick Just releases the pressure Lewis Murphy's able to take, but the difficult carries now here. They're trapped in that 10-by-10 box, and another penalty given away here, Dave. Partington this time. The Warriors have to be better than that.
Well, Kieran just pointed to the fact that he's got his shirt ripped here. Well, that's not going to have any sway with the referee. Again, it's quickly taken tap, and St Helens on their travels again. Here's Shorrocks. And Clark. Saylor. A swish off the body and a drop off the hips. Robertson not going too much further, and Saylor, and again it's a rugged attempt to find a bit of movement forward, but Wigan's defence capturing what's coming at them. Shorrocks, Hastings, Saylor steps away, and with a pass to Murphy, Eckersley doing enough to make sure that the St Helens man drops it, and Wigan have it back again.
Yeah, another error there from Murphy out on that left edge. It's good work from Saylor just to get that pass away. Ethan Eckersley, well, in fact, Saylor just drops it. Murphy just drops it cold, rather.
This is Marshall. As was mentioned in the first half, his 200th Super League game for Wigan today. He's not far off scoring a try a game, is he? Not too far away. Another set as Walters carries it in again. St Helens are being forced backwards here. Wigan just putting themselves in control at the moment. O'Neill. Smith with his hand up, but it goes to Partington instead, who just again offers a bit of athleticism and speed of carry. It's back with Smith and Nasemba. Well met, defenders committed, made the right decision and absolutely thwarted that, but it's a ball steal. And there's an argument there, Nasemba had the ball high trying to offload, but the defenders couldn't resist.
Yeah, it did. I think it was Dagnall. It's a big tackle, isn't it? Harry Robertson has defended Nasemba relatively well this afternoon. Just a pull at the end there. It's gone from an error to a penalty. The Warriors will start 15 away.
Full set of 6 to have a go again. It's familiar territory from the first half. Saints have been hanging on. Can they hang on a little longer here? Mago. Big carry from him. This is O'Neill. Delivers it back to Smith again. And Field came on. But 3-4 Saints defenders again in there. They're back on their own line. Wigan have the advantage. Can they take it? Partington. And it's just about held onto by Patrick Mago. It's a bit of a stumble in terms of his handling. Smith, Walters running over the top of Saylor, but has he got it down? Referees having a look, and he's not certain. Well, it's the second time that St Helens
no try.
managed
Check
to
if
prevent
Walters grounds the ball on the
score.
first attempt.
Video referee called into action again. Marcus Griffiths.
It's tackle 4. We have an on-field call of no try. So at that point, the ball carrying item is on the ground, and camera 2, the ball remains high, and we can keep going. Camera 1, the ball never gets to the ground. I have a decision.
Well, if St Helens win this, they will look back at some desperate moments in defence.
Yeah, it's Jake Wingfield again, Dave, isn't it? Tristan Saylor, he gets run over the top of, does enough to pull Walters down, but Wingfield's over the top to deny another try. Take a bow, Jake Wingfield again.
Right, this is 5 now, this is 5.
But the pressure is not over just yet. 1 play to go. Referee just saying this is 5. So this, therefore, is the last, and Smith will ask a few aerial questions. Oh, super leap and take by Owen Dagnall.
Yeah, he seemed forever in the air, just climbing high, gliding through the air to take that ball.
Carried out again here by Wright. Saints fans getting behind their side, Wigan fans getting behind their side. Seeing if the Warriors can just keep St Helens restricted. Cross trying to earn some valuable yards. Shorrocks and Saylor. And out the back comes Robertson. Perilously close to that touchline, but finding the ground. Saylor again, and a little bit of confusion coming on, but he has got the kick away. There's another fumble again from Field, but he's taken it safely, and Wigan start from there.
Relatively quiet, hasn't he, Jay Field, this afternoon?
Jackson Hastings relatively quiet as well.
Yeah. No, they've lost the ball here. Liam Marshall spills the ball 2 metres away from the halfway line. And Clemmer, he's in there celebrating.
Well, we do not know which way this game is going. We really don't. St Helens given the boost here. And their fans finding their voice. It's a Good Friday sing-along. Hastings. Saylor.
It took 8 minutes until they've got into this part of the field in this second half. 6 again called.
Wingfield, oh, he's almost through. Kieran just did enough to tap his ankles and bring him down. Shorrocks now takes it on. It's Stevens who crunches in. Clark. Shorrocks. Hastings brushes away the attempt from Farriman. Again, they have tackles in the bag here. Opportunities available. Shorrocks. It's a step by Robertson, but into trouble. Clark. Shorrocks and Hastings. And they've got some numbers here, potentially. Cross. Past one. Still going. Dion Cross. Inches short. Once again. Saylor's in at dummy half. Wants to throw this back quickly. Does a full 360. Doesn't know what he's doing in the end. And the ball is out of play.
A sloppy end there, really, in the end. There was only Tristan Saylor who knew what was coming here. Tries an audacious offload out to Lewis Murphy.
Strange run from Jackson Hastings there as well, wasn't there, at the end of that?
I think he wanted the kick put through, Dave. Just roll it in behind. A try or a repeat set, maybe.
Half an hour to play of this 97th Super League meeting between these two clubs. 1890s when they first met. Havard. Here's O'Neill. Thompson. Stanley does it. Folk hero in these parts. Once upon a time. O'Neill again, and Partington. Smith. Oh, and here's Field. First glimpse of daylight. But what a chase that was from Robertson. Beaten in the first instance. Determined in the second. Field dragged down, but Wigan move on. Now it's with Farriman. Walters with a kick, little grubber kick. Murphy picks up and clears. And danger repelled for the moment.
I'd said he'd been quiet on the 50th minute. He slices through that left edge. Harry Robertson in pursuit to pull him down.
Missing for 4 weeks, not really had a clear run so far today, but Jay Field just saw a hint of glory there, but denied by young Robertson. And
just call it, play ball.
Clean play the ball, so the referee says go again, and St Helens do go again, but again having to bully their way out of this end of the field. Wigan turning the screw. Saylor tries to release the fix, but the pass from Cross is not good enough for a take from Murphy.
Catch and pass from Cross. It was an outstretched left arm, sorry. Can't take it in. If he did, he was away.
So Wigan offered an invitation. Saints are a man short in the scrum, so the shot clock is counting down, but they should be okay. So Eckersley feeds and Wigan come again here. Farriman, and Farriman with a left foot step, not once but twice. And Saints are caught offside.
Use 2.
Offside. I think it was Harry Robertson straight away.
You want to repack? Yeah.
Right edge from where he was stood on onwards, just seemed to get up high. You just seen the bottom of the picture there, him and Whitley.
Well, interestingly, Wigan have elected to go for the scrum again. They feel a play could be on here. Eckersley's gone up to take it, which means there's plenty of pivots available.
It's just the sheer size of Junior Nsembe. You have to account for him. And Farrell and Marshall just holding this left channel. The distance between them and Field. Use Field's pace.
Power and pace is available to Wigan on this play. Farrimond, again, it's like we watched the same play again here. Farrimond with a left foot step. Here's O'Neill, waiting patiently. Thompson. Very little doubt about what he will do. Ball to chest, just runs it in as hard as he can. O'Neill. Havard this time takes on that challenge. Well, they're pulling their way ever closer here. O'Neill to Smith. And back to Field, but it's well met. The commitment there from Whitley. Met his man in no uncertain terms. The pass is poor, the pass is poor. Harriman picks up and tries to make something of those pieces. One last play to go. O'Neill, Smith, left foot step again. This time it's a kick, and Field is back. Jay Field, 4 weeks missing, but sniffing out an opportunity. Smith laid it on the plate, and Jay Field returns the favour with a try.
It's Joe Shorrocks, Dave. His starting position is far too wide. He leaves his inside shoulder so vulnerable. And Harry Smith, just like he did for the first score of the afternoon, spots it, takes the space, and then threads the needle. You see the gap there between the marker and Joe Shorrocks. And he's able to snap hard off his left foot. And then lock up and see Jay Field in pursuit and roll a delicate kick in. Beautifully weighted. And Jay Field, we mentioned, the last couple of minutes, he's had a say in this game. He scored 2 tries last Good Friday. And he's here to be a thorn in St Helens' heel once more.
Yeah, Harry Smith, the architect of that, no doubt, but Jay Field had the wherewithal, the sharpness to be in the position to turn it into 4 points. It's his 8th of the season in all competitions, despite that 4-week absence.
Remarkable numbers for Field, Dave. 84 tries and 117 appearances.
He's just wondering there, Paul Rowley, that whether that just is the punch too far for his side, or whether they have a response to this situation again. From Harry Smith's try in the 7th minute, Wigan have always had the lead, but they've not been able to get away. But now, for the first time, they have a 2-score lead at 18 points to 10.
And again, just see it. Shorrocks lunging in. Jay Field in pursuit. Harry Robertson, who's been hot on his heels, just gets beaten to the ball there.
Epic, long Good Friday today. NRL action earlier. Hull KR, then this one. And tonight, the return of Bradford against Leeds, once one of the classic Super League fixtures. More NRL, the Titans against the Broncos tomorrow. Huddersfield York Knights tomorrow afternoon should be absolutely fascinating. Warrington against Lee tomorrow afternoon as well. And the French derby, for only the 2nd season that's been available to us. Catalan against Toulouse, 5 to 6 tomorrow evening. And it comes to a conclusion from a Super League point of view. Castleford against Wakefield, another derby on Sunday afternoon. And the Eels and the West Tigers on Monday, and of course the Bench podcast, as ever, on Monday. This now is Partington, who's taken Wigan ever deeper. This is the last play. O'Neill, Smith will put it up there. Saylor He's going to be asked to come forward, but the ball's caught in the wind and it's knocked forward, and it's taken by Hastings, so St Helens diffuse the threat. Jenna Brooks, what news from the side?
Dave, you mentioned the wind there. I can tell you this second half, the wind has really picked up. It's currently in the face of Wigan, so therefore it's at the back of St Helens. And I can tell you we're very, very cold on the touchline, but look at that flag flying.
Storm Dave, Jenna, that's what we're told. Storm Dave is on its way. Full of wind, as my wife said. So St Helens will have a tap restart 10 from the halfway.
Yeah, Adam Kieran just catching Lewis Murphy there, and that's the Warriors have given away a number of yardage penalties which won't please Matt Peat. Just feel, Dave, that St Helens, they can't go behind another score. If they do, it'll be too much.
Have they got the wherewithal to get themselves back in this contest? Well, here's a man who's led by example for most of the game so far, Darryl Clark. Running out of W.
He's caught one high there from Brad O'Neill's shoulder.
David Clemmers gesticulating to the referee.
And Ethan Havard's come out of it as well in trouble. It was an almighty collision. See the claret flowing down from Havard's nose or eye.
A marker, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's just head on head, isn't it?
You say just
fire.
head on head. It'll hurt.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
How very rugby league prop of you. On report.
That was 3-1.
Well, that's a good decision, really, isn't it? You know, get on with the game. Let the authorities have a look at that.
Well, look, I don't think there's any way on earth that Ethan Havard is deliberately trying to launch his head into Darryl Clark's head. There's a bit of fall in there from Clark. Just catches him high, and Havard's going to go off for a HIA, as is Darryl Clark as well.
Yeah, Havard off, and it's Kate Ellis who's come back on for Wigan. Are we going to see Billy Leyland come on for the first time here? Yes, we are. Billy Leyland on loan from Hull Kingston Rovers makes his Hull KR, St Helens, I should say, St Helens debut in the Wigan Saints derby. He was playing for Hull KR in the Hull KR derby last September. So one of those rarities who played in both of these big games. And Leyland will pick up and straight away takes up the mantle of Clark by running out of dummy half. One play to go. Saylor takes control. The kick is looking good here. Dagnalls of interest, and just couldn't quite get full hands on that. Tap back on the 20.
And here comes Marshall, racing away, just trying to get a quick tap. Dumps it to Eckersley.
There's a moment here, wasn't there? A moment here when Saints thought there might be a chance. The frustration of the coach who knows that his side have to take every opportunity now. Here's O'Neill. This is Ellis. Fresh from a brief spell on the sidelines. O'Neill again. Partington, no look pass to Thompson. O'Neill again. It's Smith who invites Nsemba to come back on the angle, and he just shrugs off a couple of defenders and gets the ball away, and it means, oh, there was a touch there from Cross, and that was an important one from Cross.
First one that way, then this one from Sam. To knock on.
So Wigan's head and feet, but had Cross not got the touch there, that could have been disastrous for his side.
Oh, look at this, two big bodies going at it. Junior Nsemba, Dave Clemmer. Clemmer there with his 33rd tackle. He hasn't had a minute off so far. It's been an hour gone, played huge minutes, but he was no match for Junior on that occasion.
Six plays to go for Wigan. An 8-point lead at the moment. If they can score again, it could be decisive. This is Ellis. O'Neill lines up at dummy half. This is Partington now, who sees a bit of a gap and then goes off the right foot to try and outwit Billy Leyland. He can't do so, but O'Neill is out. Leyland just tapped his ankles to stop the ambition. Slow play the ball. Smith. Field. Can't see a way out left, can't see a way out right because Shorrock's closed the curtains. One play to go. Smith again. Little delicate one over the top, and Dagnall with a good take, but back inside his own in-goal area. Drop out underneath the sticks.
Another important catch there from Dagnall. Marshall just competing with him, does enough there just to get over the line and then ground that ball, almost spills it. 6 more here. Huge set coming up for St Helens.
2016 the last time Wigan won here on Good Friday. Are they about to rewrite that? Jenna Brooks, what news have you got down there?
I can tell you Darryl Clark, we saw him come off with Ethan Havard. Havard was at HIA, Darryl Clark was not, because the incident was put on reports and Helens were able to utilise the free sub. So it's just a normal sub.
Okay. Is that Alfie Sinclair then, as 18th man, is now available to St Helens? This is Partington. Smith, quick hands, Field quick again. Farrell now hands it on. Marshall cuts back. St Helens defence has got across quickly. And boy, did they need to. Farrell. Smith. O'Neill and now Partington. Shorrock's diving at his legs and pulling him down. O'Neill. Ellis decides that the straight way forward is the best. They're on the last. O'Neill to Smith. Smith with a kick, and as Chase was blocked away, and the referee says tap back on the 20. Out of play.
A great set there defensively for St Helens. In the end, it was Harry Smith's kick too long. Dagnall tasked with trying to get this ball going forward. 7 tackle set here, that's 1 gone.
Well, Saints fans inside this ground know their side have to score next. Wigan.
They just haven't had any ball down that end of the field, Dave. They've been robbed of field position, so far. Offload there from Wingfield.
Story of the game. I mean, possession has never been one-sided at all. It has been fairly even throughout the game, that possession stat, but it is position that has counted.
Yeah. I can't think of too many occasions where the Warriors have had to defend their own try line.
Sailor thought about the 40-20, then decided there were better options out wide. Possible dummy, and he's sliding out of play, but he's done really well. This is great hands from St Helens. Sailor tries to take off. Stolen an opportunity through Noah Stevens. Creativity from St Helens, making it up as they go. Could they prosper on the back of it? Hastings with a short pass.
Penalty. Adam Kieran giving away the penalty there.
No, mate. It's an offside penalty, mate.
And this is a chance that St Helens have been wanting inside the 23 minutes that has been played of this second half.
Tap and go. And here comes Clever to lead the charge. Leyland into dummy half. His new teammates lining up behind him. Shorrock's all he can do is catch it. Low delivery. Leyland again. Sailors on this right-hand side. Can he zap something here? Robertson met. And the ball goes in, and Field thought he was off. Field thought he was off, but it's a penalty for St Helens again.
Harry! William, sort him out.
Offside again, Jack Smith.
Time's off. William!
Sailor. Change of line there from Harry Robertson to straight up as Wright fades onto the outside shoulder of Smith. The door was shut, the ball was spilled, but the Warriors are offside. That's back-to-back penalties here.
Well, Junior December has taken a blow in all of that as well, and that doesn't look comfortable, does it?
No. Could be costly for the big fella.
He's not looking happy as they all came together. I think his knee got in the wrong place.
St Helens were to get over here, Dave. It's an almighty finish.
Still some concern for that Wigan coaching staff. So that's all you see. Oh my goodness.
Just awkwardly, isn't it, underneath that left leg, and then
there's a twist that he didn't want, but he stayed on the field. And St Helens now with an opportunity. Wigan desperate to defend their way out of this. Shorrocks to Hastings, and Saylor with a left foot, but Kieran hangs on, and there's more in there to follow as well. Still plays, still chances. Hastings, Shorrocks decides the best option is to take the position. Leyland motors into dummy half. It's Clemmer who's pushing hard. Wigan defending well for the moment. Leyland again, he fancies a bit of Derby Day glory, debut glory, still wriggling, and he's going to be held up, and they'll go back 10.
Bill, straight back, tackle 5.
And last play off it. Slow play the ball here. The Warriors line set. We've got one more to deal with here.
Here's Shorrocks. Hastings trying to delay the pass, and the end delayed it to the point where he didn't deliver it, and that is the last in the set. Wigan have it back, and it's their fans who are celebrating that moment as if it was a try. It really looks on with frustration.
Yeah, I've just seen that too many occasions. Jackson Hastings just running down a blind alleyway with nothing on. Just turns the ball over.
Wigan have got a job on here to get themselves away. Saints coming at pace. Last throw of the dice. Last big dig deep. In effort, Kieran. Wigan hands are held aloft.
Just need to front load here.
Farrell taking it on again. O'Neill, now Mega looking for a blast. And the offload, and O'Neill will carry it on. Still going, what an offload. Partington's there. He's got support as well from Eckersley, who finds it on that right-hand side to win the derby. To win the derby. Zach Eckersley in at the corner. Wigan rejoice, not just the try, but surely the match. 2 scores the lead, 3 scores now. If the kick goes over, are St Helens beaten in that moment, or can they find some way to get back here?
And they've got an almighty hill to climb, and Zach Eckersley delivers the killer blow. And a wonderful offload there from Mago. And then from Brad O'Neill, with Oliver Partington just rushing up through the middle part of the field. Eckersley gets over in the corner. And this kick to come will take it to 3 scores that they are behind now, but Mago here. And it's Clemmer, who's been on the field for 66 minutes. He just can't lock that ball up. Brad O'Neill steps away and fights off Hastings. Ollie Partington just pushing through. Shorrocks chasing and just draws in Lewis Murphy. And Eckersley gets over in that corner, right in front of the St Helens fans, and puts the cherry on top of the cake for Matty Pete's men here.
Well, Saints have grimly hung on. They've taken the rare opportunities that they've had, but Wigan's domination reflected in that scoreline at the moment. He's feeling the pain, but he's feeling the delight. Julian December at the moment.
I'll tell you what, if you wanted to put absolute daylight in this contest, and that man Adam Kieran, kicking percentage of over 75% heading into this one.
Huge kick this, because 3 scores looks insurmountable. Eckersley scrolls forward and hits it well enough, and the Saints fans, tellingly behind the sticks, remain motionless, because Kieran's put it in. It is 10 for St Helens, it is 20 for Wigan, and there's only 12 minutes to play.
Eckersley with a try last week, and collects his 8. 4 behind like a Sevo, but it was great work from Mago, and then Brad O'Neill, but Ollie Partington as well, just pushing up. Zach Eckersley getting the vital score.
It's going to take something monumental from Saints from here. We're being told that Ethan Hubbard, who's been off for an HIA, has passed his HIA, so he's looking ready to come back on again.
Oh, there's someone out cold there. Shane Wright. Big carry there from Cade Ellis.
I've got concern for him, I've stopped it.
Just see as he goes into contact, it was only parting. Oh no, it's Cade Ellis, sorry. Shane Wright just falls out of that awkwardly, completely loses control of his legs and hits the deck.
Well, he's not come off without any scars, has he? The referee stopping that immediately. Didn't need the doctor on the field. He was concerned.
No, he's gone straight away, Shane Wright. And that's his afternoon done as well.
It's going to be consecutive defeats now for St Helens at Hulking Rovers last week, and it would seem against Wigan here today.
Yeah, look, I think there's ways that you can lose. Last week wasn't good enough for St Helens. This week has been spirited, and there's the shot there, head on head. Just see, as soon as Ellis and Wright's head come together, his legs are completely gone. Of course, the quarter-final against Catalan as well. Those HIAs.
Yeah, Catalan next week here for St Helens, and then they got Holloway and Wakefield and York and Huddersfield and Cass, and they'll look at those fixtures and think, we'll get a few back and fix things up in terms of how the table is looking, which is not looking disastrous anyway. The kick is going to hit the ground. Saylor, who's now back at full-back, will offer it here for Dagnall.
And I think as well, you know, you've just mentioned there that St Helens, they managed to get some points on the board and come away with competition points, crucially at this stage, while they're going through this period. And of course, there will be some of those stars, those 12 stars, will return later on in the season. But this was being a much more spirited effort from this St Helens side.
This is Saylor now, and Cross looking to get on his way, but Wigan's defence is tight to that, and Saylor across the line. Robertson just dragged to the ground. Beginning to run out of tackles here at the wrong end of the field. Shorrock's pass is behind anyone, and Murphy on the back of that will pick it up though, but he's not going far before his progress is halted. This is the last. Hastings has to be quick with the kick. Field underneath. Well caught. Slate's line is up there and dealing with that potential problem straight away. Marshall. Here's O'Neill again. Havard. O'Neill. Partington wanted to carry it on, but there was a big body in his way, so he just hits and twists. And we're going to again find themselves on the last. You'd expect a kick here from Harry Smith, and it's exactly the kind of kick you would expect as well. And oh, Saylor's done well actually to carry that on the touchline, and then just risks being taken out of play. Dagnall. Robertson. Looking to the left for width and inspiration. Kieran bumps him down. Cross. Here's Leyland. Hastings to Saylor. Saylor was in danger of running behind his own man, so has to change direction. Shorrocks, Hastings, quickly done, and Murphy now with room to run, but Barryman can't get him. Oh, the ball was back on the inside. It will be a pick-up and a finish for Jackson Hastings. Oh, he just about got it down, but the deal ain't done just yet. With 8 minutes to go, Hastings' touch has given Saints a glimmer of a hope.
Yeah, Dave, there's been a couple of times that the left edge of St Helens through quick hands have got on the outside and set Lewis Murphy away. On this occasion he's able to arrive onto the ball and race away. And the ball on the inside, I thought he'd blown it just there, but the ball on the inside to Jackson Hastings, and goodness me, that could have went awfully wrong there. He has enough to get the ball down, but again, it was neat hands. Robertson cross out to Murphy, and Jackson Hastings just to reduce the deficit here. We enter the final 8 minutes.
Well, they're still having a look at this. They're just dotting I's and crossing T's on it. And in fact, it has now been officially confirmed, but I don't think he knew that Jay Field was as close as he was there.
No, it certainly didn't. But Sailor now. 10 points the difference.
They need as many points as they can get now, and the kick provides 2 of them. 16 for St Helens, 24 for Wigan. 8 minutes to go.
Just neat hands on the left edge. Eckersley arriving on the scene just a little too late. Cross to get that pass away. Jackson Hastings to get his first try of 2026.
There's still a chance, as unlikely as that seemed 4 or 5 minutes ago.
We're going to have to come up with something incredible here.
Harry Smith, with his left foot, just drills it as far downfield as he can trust. Saints coming back again. Partington straight in there with a shoulder. Leyland and Clemmer into Thompson. Those are 2 tough characters down the middle, aren't they?
Another big afternoon, Clemmer.
Leyland again. Shorrocks. Sailor. And again they're looking wide.
To go.
Eckersley, but it's a penalty for St Helens.
Yeah, hit off the ball on Jake Wingfield. And the Warriors are just flirting here.
Sailor's kick finds prime position for St Helens. There's a roar of encouragement. Stevens with a play the ball. Hastings slipping through. Where's the support? Oh, he can't get it away because O'Neill does enough to tipple him over. Leyland dodges right. Robertson, but this is stopped. Another set of 6 for St Helens. Hope springs eternal. Clemmer taking them closer. 6 minutes and 6 plays. Sailor now. Cross tries to stand them up. Wigan's defence remains stout. Sailor again. Stevens hoiks it back. Shorrocks. And Clemmer given the task of an honest drive forward again. Leyland left. Hastings. Sailor. Sailor on the spin and over to score. Or is it in denial? Referee steps back. Sailor celebrates. Referee points his finger. He saw enough to give the try. Have we got a miracle on here from St Helens? Are they going to turn this Good Friday script right around?
Oh, we're on here, Dave. We are on. 24-20. Tristan Sailor with a vital score. I didn't think they had it in them, but Tristan Sailor just gets Farrand interested on that right edge, and he's able to finish that. And goodness me, who thought this was possible?
Well, he got it out of the second attempt there, I think, didn't he?
5 to go.
Whoa, hold on to your Easter bonnets. It's a Good Friday game that has yet to be conclusively won by one or the other. Sailor's quick with a kick and over and narrows it to 2. It is St Helens 22, Wigan 24, and he knows his side and they know that their side still have it in them.
Oh, this is what we wanted. Strap yourselves in. The Warriors are chewing the fingernails, and the Saints Well, they have found something. Just shy of 5 to go.
Well, we were celebrating 30 years of Super League. We were harking back to that White to West try last week. People forget the White to Enough try the week after as well, that did for Bradford. But are St Helens capable here of producing another wonderful comeback, or do Wigan hang on? 5 minutes and counting. St Helens desperate to find ground. Stevens wrestled. Leyland comes out. Hastings grabs a hold, and a half break by Wingfield, whose efforts in defence have helped St Helens find themselves in this position. Leyland offloads. Clemmer juggles, keeps a hold. Clemmer now takes it on. 3 defenders just about slow him up. Leyland picks it up. Listen to the roar now. Hastings brings it left, ignores Shorrocks, drops it instead to Stevens. Stevens with a push. 1 play to go in this set. Leyland back again to Robertson. Robertson with a triple chase. And somehow Field gets across to boot it out to safety.
Oh, Jay Field, Harry Robertson with the kick, and Field just getting across. They'll boot that ball away. 3.5 minutes to go. Saints have got 6 more.
Listen to the noise now. This is what Good Friday's all about, isn't it? Write them off at your peril. These are nervous times, whichever box you're sitting in, because Saints have a full set of 6 to come again. This is Dagnall.
These are the moments, Dave.
Leyland, Clemmer's eager for more work. He's put in a shift, and there's still more hard labour to do. It's with Leyland. Now it's Shorrocks, Hastings, Saylor. It's been a lively presence throughout. Shorrocks has to go straight, but not far. Leyland. Plenty of numbers on this right-hand side. Hastings tries to dummy his way through, but hits a brick wall. 2 plays in this set. Leyland again, and a dummy half, and scores! What a debut! What a remarkable debut! What delight! St Helens have produced a Good Friday miracle. They rise again. We are going to have a look at this. We are going to look at this. They can't believe what they've seen. But Billy Leyland, plucked from obscurity, might just have earned his place in St Helens legend with a try that has turned this extraordinary game right around.
Oh, Bill Leyland, whatever happens in your career, this could be your defining moment, because you've just won the Good Friday derby. The St Helens side, they were gone dead and buried, and I thought there was no chance. But goodness me, 3 tries inside the final 15 minutes, and Bill Leyland with the most important one.
3 tries in 5 minutes. St Helens have scored. And a coach who cannot believe what he's witnessed. They were done. They were beaten. They were out of it.
They were completely gone.
But they never lost belief. Saylor settles in amongst the clamour to add another 2, and another 2 is added. It is now 28 points to 24 in the long list, the 2-centuries-old history of this fixture. We have yet another classic. That's what it feels like to be a Wigan supporter at the moment.
Well, I don't think anyone, even the most die-hard St Helens fan, Dave, arrived here this afternoon and envisaged this happening.
And it ain't finished yet, by the way. It has not finished yet. Oh, Bill's lost it! This is it! Billy Leyland! What a double! Would you believe that?
eyebrows raised about St Helens bringing in loan players. But Bill Helens has just put a dagger through the heart of the Wigan Warriors. They go for the short kick-off, desperate for chasing points. It gets batted back, and the bounce is unkind to Jay Field and generous to Bill Leyland, who just races away. And if you thought it was over, it well and truly is now. The Good Friday derby belongs to St Helens.
Well, we set it up earlier as a long Good Friday, and it will go the distance, because if Leeds win tonight, they will go top. But nobody inside this ground at the moment cares a hoot about what happens at Odsal. They're just hooting. Look at Lee Breers. Well, the noise now.
This is incredible. Incredible. 6 minutes ago, Dave.
Not just to win the game, but if Saylor puts this over, and he will, to win it by 10 points from the position they were in. With 8 minutes left to play, they were trailing by 14. With a matter of seconds left to play, they'll shortly be leading by 10.
Super League's been shown for 30 years on Sky Sports. And a famous guy once said, never write off the Saints. Well, boy, that has lived up to that today.
Taking all the time in the world here, Tristan Saylor to put it over. 34 points to 24. In decades to come, in generations to come, they will look back at this scoreline and just raise an eyebrow. But anyone who's been here today will tell you this has been a full emotional roller coaster. St Helens resurrected. Wigan a second successive defeat.
Bill Leyland giving the keys to the town.
Kicks high and short. Wigan are desperately hoping, but with 30 seconds to go, it is less than miracle time. All they can do is go down fighting. Smith with a kick. Liam Marshall goes chasing after that. Jackson Hastings. Oh, the bounce! Oh, well, Marshall got a hand to it, but in fact, the referee's decided the last touch was off a St Helens player, because he's given a drop out underneath the sticks, I think. Yes, he has.
Matters not now, though, Dave. Ball rolling down on the sideline. And don't you just love sport when it offers you and feeds you something like this?
Well, they're waiting for the hooter. I think the referee stopped the clock, spoil sport. 10 seconds. They've got to start again with 3 seconds to go.
They're in position, so time goes on.
Still a drop to come. It matters not, because even if Wigan score from this, it ain't going to deny the celebration. Oh, and he's put it straight out of play, so it's a penalty. It's a penalty for Wigan. 10 metres in front of the sticks. What an extraordinary finish. He's just blasted it out of play. I think Jackson Hastings thought that would be the end of it, but he's put it out on the floor.
It's a penalty.
So it's a penalty. Quite right, referee.
It's not contestable.
Well, the celebration's put on hold. As this penalty's given away, and it'll be 2 points unless...
Well, go back. It's a penalty. It's not contestable. Hey, come on.
As Harry Smith decides to run it here.
It's got to be contestable.
But the game's over. St Helens who collect
Look at that being
vital 2 points.
One smile. Rolly ball has landed in the long, long list of games between these two sides, stretching well over 130 years. There has rarely been a match to match this one. An absolute classic. Unbelievable twists. St Helens down, beaten and out, but now look at that celebration. They have turned this around in extraordinary style. Wigan will be stinging on the back of it. St Helens, just pure delight. What a game. What a Good Friday game. St Helens 34, Wigan 24. Who saw that coming?
Not you two anyway. You gave the game to the Wigan Warriors with 25 to go. And then we have seen the most remarkable of comebacks. When they tell you form goes out the window for a derby game, when they tell you the Saints-Wigan derby game is a little bit different, they're not lying, Sam.
Oh, absolutely not. What have we just witnessed there? We've spoken about how many players Saints have had out, how dominant Wigan were in the first 20-30 minutes of a half, and Saints just did not go away. They got better and better through that second half. You could see the belief growing in this side. It was amazing.
We really must contextualise this. In 2003, a near full-strength St Helens side went to Wigan and were beaten by a side depleted by injuries. This has probably trumped that.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a real head-scratcher for Matty P, isn't it? When you're up and looking so comfortable. But do you know what? Saints earned the right to go and win that game by some big defensive plays in the first half that we'll have a look at, because those moments often get forgotten when Bill Helens scores 2 tries, screeches down the field after taking one off Jay Field. But it was defensive work, stubbornness, grit, determination, passion, and just a will to get to the end of the game and give themselves a chance. And that's exactly what they did. What a performance.
Jordan Desiree, Bill Leyland came in from Hull KR, the champions, on loan, and they have played their part in the most remarkable of results for St Helens. I'm thinking of a Jake Wingfield try saver in the first half on Kate Ellis, and one in the second half on Sam Walters.
Massive plays. Defensive plays win you big games, and we'll look back at the tries, but those big defensive plays, Sam, gave them every opportunity to go and win this.
Desperation. They just showed desperation throughout, and when it looked like they had nothing left, somehow they find a way to get themselves back into the game. It was such a spirited performance.
And they led for the first time with 3 minutes to go, courtesy of his first try for St Helens. Bill Leyland, player of the match with Jenna.
Not only was it his first try for St Helens, he just says to me that was my first try in Super League as well. He signs for 1 week on loan from Hull KR. Bill Leyland, just sum up that.
It's kind of surreal, to be fair. To play in such a big derby, obviously, my team, I think they won in the game before, so it's a double win for me, and yeah, I'm just glad to bring it home for all of these fans. It's pretty surreal.
You come on 57 minutes, right? What was the actual plan? Because the only reason you came on was, I suppose you'd call it a lucky head clash now, right?
It would just sort of be ready, and you'll come on whenever, like if Daz needs a res or he's cooked, I don't know. But he just said be ready. I mean, I don't even think I deserve this. Like Clem played a full 80 and he killed it, so yeah.
You're very modest. You come on, the game completely swings in St Helens' favour. Just try and sum this moment up, and I suppose what happens now?
Pretty magical. I mean, it'd be nice, like the game time, that's all I want as a young, like, well, I'm not that young, I'm 23, but I just want game time, so wherever that is, I just want to be there, and the boys are great, they've welcomed me in so well. I've only had 1 training session with them, and yeah, just to share this sort of experience with them. Loads of the Wigan boys at KR who have come through told me how big of a game it is, and yeah, it's kind of special.
Okay, tell us then about you shushing the Wigan supporters. What was that about?
Well, I thought that was just one for the KR fans out there. We've had quite a rivalry with them over the years, and they get a bit loud, so it's time to silence them a bit.
Hey, I tell you who else is loud. Your new fans, the St Helens fans. Go and enjoy this moment. Incredible performance, Bill Leyland. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it is a great story, isn't it? 1 training session with them. I love it as well. He had the wherewithal to nod to David Clemmer in the middle of all that. He'll recognise what the big boys went through.
Yeah, without doubt, respectful of the big guys. But look, do you know what? It's a lesson as well. We talk about structure and shape and organised plays that break teams down. Well, what you got is a young kid, 23, on the field, who just takes 2 opportunities. Paul Rowley is astute enough to bring him in just to spell Darrell Clark. And having fresh legs, having someone who's got zip in the stride in the closing minutes of games is massive.
I'm sure Leyland sat on the bench thinking he's not going to get on until the head knock for Daz Clark that takes him off the field. And what was he thinking a week ago when he got a call and said you're going to go to Saints? Did he ever imagine he'd score more tries than he'd have training sessions with his Saints side a week later?
I mean, it is St Helens we're talking about. When you could have been forgiven the pair of them for thinking we're coming over here as cannon fodder, considering the injuries and the absentees. And it didn't get any better at the start of the game. They lost St Helens. Ignatius Passy early on.
I mean, they're just ravaged by injuries. But those injuries produce opportunities for somebody, and it produced opportunities for Desiree and Bill Leyland, and they took it, didn't they? Bill Leyland in particular, his fingerprints are all over this victory. The 2 tries were crucial in getting the win. And look, Darrell Clarke's head knock, his short-term loan deal, it was an opportunity for a young guy to make a name for himself. That's what's happened here. He's just in the history books now as winning a Good Friday games almost single-handedly.
On loan from the champions Hull KR, he's come to a sold-out Brewdog Stadium and written his name in history because it is a Good Friday win for St Helens, and they mean that little bit more. Paul Rowley experiencing one for the first time as a coach. He has been here many times as a spectator. He respects, acknowledges the significance of the fixture. Look at those 2 men. Darrell Clarke, absolutely outstanding Darrell Clarke.
Oh, Darrell was one of the best on the field throughout his time on there. Every opportunity he took it. And I thought Saints today, although they were dogged, I don't think the big men generally stood up apart from Daz Clarke. Hastings didn't come up with much. Saylor was busy but not really effective. But Daz Clarke, any opportunity in defence and attack, he took it to this Wigan side.
Yeah, Daz Clarke, Clemmer and Wingfield for me competed very hard in the middle of the field. Just created opportunities and stayed in the fight. You know, Wigan come at you, don't they? Patrick Mago comes on and he's like a cannonball running into you when you're tired. Now, for them to stick at Wigan through a tough part of the game, I thought
I'll say this about Jake Wingfield, John. The injuries to Darrell Clarke, they push him into playing the hook and probably the most taxing, the most demanding position on a rugby league field. Darrell Clarke comes back in, Jake moves into the back row, plays in the back row. Today he came up with 2 try-saving tackles against 2 huge men in Cade Ellis and in Sam Walters. They were absolutely incredible at his upper body strength.
Yeah, Wingfield's a footballer, Brian, as is Clemmer, but Wingfield in particular, adaptable, really versatile, is an asset to the team. I don't think we've seen the best of this kid. He's had such bad luck with shoulder injuries. But if he gets a run in a position in the team, he can do some things.
But what he's got is what he can't teach. He's a competitor. He competes at every single thing. He doesn't give up on anything. And that's what coaches want. You want someone that's going to come in and be desperate at every opportunity. And he showed that today.
There wasn't a whole lot for Paul Rowley to smile about last year when he was in charge of a Salford side that were lurching from crisis to crisis. But he did smile his way through it. Well, it is wow, look at that. Paul Rowley grinning from ear to ear, Jenna.
He certainly is. He's looking up, he's looking at the fans and he's smiling. Your first taste of a head coach, Saints Wigan derby, not bad, was it?
Oh, it's very special. Look, it's a story, wasn't it? I think the adversity that we was under during the game, before the game. But you know the saying, don't you? I'm not going to say it, but you know the saying. So, no, I think, all joking aside of it, the belief and the character has never been questioned with the group. Obviously, we had a tough week last week and we wanted to bounce back with all the things and what we spoke about, and we did that in the best way possible.
OK, let's talk Bill Leyland, player of the match. He comes on 57 minutes and the game completely changes. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. I think Bill Leyland's a good runner of the ball, and you know, he's elusive. And we thought that Wigan were just, and us, we've been in a battle. Both teams have been on the ropes for long periods of time, so somebody like Billy would be, you know, just the tonic to for us and open up the game. But I've got to say, I've got to pay credit to David Clemmer as well. 80 minutes. I can't praise him enough every week. You know, in the tough times, we've needed a leader, and he's been a leader.
Yeah, he certainly has. I do want to go back to Billy, though, because clearly it is the Hull KR loanee. It's his night, or his day, I should say. 23 minutes he plays. What was the game plan? Because the reason he went on was because of the head clash.
Yeah, I mean, it was a substitute, actually. He didn't come off with a head injury, Darrell. So there's a plan anyway. Probably a minute earlier than we was going to make the sub. So with Billy, he's a really admirable young man, and I spoke to him before the game, as and when was the kind of instructions. And Darrell was playing particularly well as well, so it was in no rush to change things just for the sake of getting subs on. But yeah, you know, it was just a waiting game, and Billy got on and did the rest. And well, massive credit to him. He wouldn't have understood the language we use here and in terms of plays and stuff, and so he kept it simple and he ran, and luckily he got over the try line a couple of times.
Yeah, he did. He also said he only trained once with the boys. So what's the plan now? Because it's an initial 1 week loan. Do you get on the phone? Do you call Willie and say, hey, can we have him for a little bit longer?
Oh, of course, you know, but I think it's cup match next week, so okay, I won't want to cup tie any of the players, and we're appreciative of them coming to our help, really, in a bit of an hour of need. So no, we've got a lot of admiration for Jordan and Bill Leyland. So yeah, obviously if we could have them for longer, then that'd be great. But you know, they're OKR players, and we fully respect that.
All right, Rolls, I'm going to let you go, but before that, you trailed for the majority of that match. Just say it once, never.
Never write off the Saints.
Amen. Congrats.
Thank you.
We'll let poor Rolly go. I'm going to bring in the head coach of the Wigan Warriors, Matt Peat. It's a Good Friday derby. I mean, for the neutral, it lived up to expectation. But for you, I'm sure you're probably pretty unhappy with the way that game ended.
Yeah, of course. I can accept that it was a intense game, passionate, finished in an exciting manner. But we've got to look at some of the things that we did, particularly when we were open. Yeah, we've got to be better than that, but also pay credit to Saints. You know, they were back to the wall today, and they continued to move the ball and back the style, and you know, they deserve the win.
So where did it get away from you then?
I think we never put our game together for long enough sustained periods. If our attack was good, too often we were giving penalties away, even when we were quite dominant in our defence. But so, yeah, the penalties we give away are a big part of it. But I never thought for sustained periods we were at it.
You did want a response after last week. I mean, response you got?
No, I didn't talk about the response for the game. It was more about looking forward to this. And I knew this was going to be an intense game. And I thought some things we did were a decent standard, but like I said, never for long enough.
Matt Peat, thanks for talking.
Thanks, Jenna.
Well, you can see why he'll have a lot to digest, take out of that. Zach Eckersley's try in the second half, 66 minutes gone, pushes him into a 24-10 lead. There's 9 minutes left on the clock before St. Helens came back into it. John, let's take us from 12-10 at half-time to Wigan looking like, to some, that they put the game beyond St. Helens.
Yeah, it was a dominant period in the game. They really had the better of field position and possession in the opening sort of 10-15 minutes of the second half, and it just looked like they were going to coast away from it. It's Jayfield's try. Harry Smith just catches Shorrocks just on the out, going too wide, beats him. It's a cute kick from Harry Smith and a nice finish from Jayfield.
Reaction time from Field as well. As soon as he sees Harry Smith carry the ball, he's straight on it, the first to react, and with the speed he's already got, you know, that's just such an opportunist.
Yeah, and look, we spoke about injuries and how they impacted today. Well, it looks sad to see Nsemba limping off. We see Patrick Mago come on. This is his first carry in the game, right? And this is what he can do. A bit like a Sam Lasoni character, comes on, loads of punch, offload to Brad O'Neill, and Brad O'Neill does so well to square up and create space.
Yeah, and the Wigan lads, they know what Mago offers. To have Ollie Partington in support, he's never run that far without being touched before. Delivers a perfect 2-on-1 in a corner, and that was Wigan. I think after this try, Wigan think this game's gone to bed.
Just a naughty conversion from Adam Kieran off the back of this from the sideline. Unreal, like curved it in. This, what we all thought it was game over. Certainly the commentary were talking about this being a point where it was game done, and I subscribed to that. I couldn't see, you know, Junior Nsemba delighted with the try as he's limping off.
Okay, you didn't see it coming, but it's
No.
24-10. So tell me what you felt Wigan did wrong. There's 9 minutes to go in the game. Let's take it back to even just after they scored. What did they do, if anything, wrong?
They just chilled a little bit. They just relaxed a little bit for a moment. And do you know what? They didn't deal with a bit of shape that St. Helens threw at them. They conceded a few penalties. And that's what Matty Peat alludes to.
A bit of spark from Bill
They
Leyland.
needed a 10-minute period of consistency after that Eckersley try. Game over. And they couldn't do it. They were ill disciplined in that little period after the Eckersley try. They gifted Saints an opportunity, and then it's sort of, you know, the atmosphere changed.
It was just, they were just little pressure releases to Saints when they were so dominant, and it was almost like in defence they were comfortable, but they give a penalty away they didn't need to. They weren't scrambling and saving tries, giving penalties. They were just giving them away consistently, and it was that there was a belief growing in the Saints side that they thought, we'll just try and get a bit closer until they thought they could actually win it.
I'm minded of the conversation we had at half-time, because Saints finished the first half defending this try line out on their feet. The likes of David Clemmer in the middle, I mean, must have been praying for the half-time hooter to come.
Yeah.
So they built their first half on defence, just 2 points into the half-time. And because of defence again in the second half, got themselves into a position towards the end of the game where they were able to pile those points on.
Yeah, when you're in like an elite dressing room, how often you look at defensive efforts that win you games. And in big games, it's Wingfield first on Ellis from the first half, then it's Desiree, the loanee, on Nsemba. These moments matter, Sam, don't they?
Yeah, and in the Saints dressing room, they'll know these are held in higher regard than the tries and the nice things at the end, because that's the gritty stuff that not many people can do.
Yeah, and then it was about the points. I mean, even on this try, look, it's great hands and puts Murphy in the space and he held on to it. The ball comes back inside, Hastings in support.
But you still didn't take a comeback seriously.
I didn't
24-16.
No, I just felt like the game was still Wigan's if they could get it together, and they couldn't. All this did, actually, was just create a moment of uncertainty. And, you know, whenever you come back in a big game, you go back-to-back, don't you?
Yeah.
You score and you score again.
Well, you need to when you're behind by so much with so little time.
But you do, and it's Tristan Saylor with great footwork, great strength. And now, game on.
Yeah, and Wigan normally defend a simple shape like that so easily, but the fact that there was a disconnect on an edge defence, it's just a simple block play on a short side. They never get beat like that.
2 points in at 24-22, 3 minutes left. Bill Leyland, dummy half.
Yeah, just so good. Like, you know, if you're going to barge like that, you have to score for me.
Yeah.
And there was no doubt he was going to score. Short kick-off. Obviously, the bounce is favourable. But you know what? I love the anticipation from Bill Leyland to be on the spot and just to pick Jayfield's pocket and run the...
It's the fresh legs. Again,
it's the zip in the legs.
He's only been on for 22 minutes at this point, so he's fresher than anybody else on the field and takes the opportunity, sees it coming, but what a story for this guy. You know, one of the greatest comebacks for a Saints side, all orchestrated by this man coming on, who's not even at the club. He's a Hull KR player, comes here, and there'll be posters of him all over this stadium.
Well,
and he might only ever play one
it's
game.
It's a trivia question, isn't it? What man came, won a Good Friday derby with 2 tries, played 1 game, and had a stand named after him? The Bill Leyland stand. It started here.
Listen, there's another side to this coin as well, isn't there? And it's Matt Peat, the Wigan Warriors, disappointing with their performance, and of course they will have been with their defeat against Huddersfield, who were bottom of the table last week. I wouldn't have think for a minute they took St Helens lightly here today, but they'll have looked at a winning position thrown away.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll dissect. They'll dissect the last 20 minutes of that game and say, from this position, how did we lose it? I think last week, disappointed because they didn't perform well throughout the game. This week they were dominant for big periods and showed loads of signs that the Wigan side that we know. But it's going to be a long review for this Wigan side. They need to know how they can give that many points away towards the end of a game in a Good Friday derby.
Yeah, and I think you go off the back of Huddersfield, right? You concede 34 points. And you come to a Good Friday derby and to concede 30 plus points again. The issue for Matt Peat is discipline and defensive consistency. Now, Adam Kieran came up with a bit of a ropey read. He missed a tackle on Tristan Saylor. Then they miss a few soft tackles down the middle of the field. Opportunities try at the end. But it's defensive intensity and concentration and discipline. And they're doing it for long patches. They're a great team. But there's just patches in the game where they're just not good enough and letting themselves down. And it just coincided with Saints taking 3 opportunities. Wow, what a comeback. Magical comeback.
I'm still trying to digest what we've just witnessed here on Sky Sports. St Helens seasons, well, it keeps on trucking, courtesy of Bill Leyland's late double. On loan, Bill Leyland has helped St Helens to a 34-24 victory. Just look at that, 72, 75, 78 and 79 minutes. They have knocked Wigan out of the park. A sold-out Brewdog Stadium has witnessed one of the most remarkable Super League comebacks in recent memory. So what does that do to the Betfred Super League table? Well, it puts Saints and Wigan joint top, 10 points apiece. Wigan staying in first place, courtesy of a better points difference, but they will be hunted with intent by Warrington, Leeds, Wakefield, and of course Hull Kingston Rovers, who recorded a derby victory earlier today over Hull FC. Okay, it's back. After 12 long years, Yorkshire derby, Bradford Leeds at Oddsall, over 15,000 expected in there tonight. We can put our mics down very shortly and head in front of a TV screen to watch that one.
Yeah, it's so exciting. We've been waiting to have this game back for a long time, haven't we? And there was times when we didn't think it would come back. So many great memories of the Bradford Leeds games, and tonight I just hope it delivers anything like what we've seen today.
There's nearly a generation that has missed the magnitude of a Bradford Leeds game in Super League.
Which should be unthinkable to say. You know, if you went back 15 years, early 2000s, this was the game, wasn't it? Yeah. Do you know, this was the game you wanted to see? And you think back to Barry McDermott,
25,000 crowds.
Yeah, and the Yestin Harris saga.
Look at the stands.
I know.
Look at that.
And do you know what? It was always a travesty, wasn't it? The plight of the Bradford Bulls. And I'm delighted that they're back. I'm delighted that on a Good Friday they're facing off against their old enemies, the Leeds Rhinos. And this could be a game that could surprise us. Historically, it always did, didn't it? You know, when you thought one side was dominant in this fixture, the other side could pop out a result, a bit like we've seen here this afternoon. But iconic players in our game for both sides would relish this derby and just, you know, an amazing game to be at.
Well, we can hear from a man who left his mark on many a Bradford Leeds fixture. Barry McDermott is over at Oddsall for us ahead of this one.
So here we are at Oddsall for the third and final fixture in its Betfred Super League Rivals Round Good Friday edition. Even though we're hours before kick-off, it's a little bit drizzly. The ball is set fair for what should be a fantastic game. I keep expecting Joe Vagana or James Laws or Robbie and Henry to jump out and torment me like they used to do back in the day. This is such a good ground to play at, and when it's full and when everybody's singing and the atmosphere is loud and hostile, it brings out the best in everybody. Well, let's have a look at the two teams. Bradford will be searching for that confidence they went into last week's game against Cass with, come up short against Cass. They'll want to throw the ball around, test and challenge defences like they usually do. Kurt Haggerty encourages his team to do that. And Leeds Rhinos, how good were they against Warrington last week in that 30-year celebration at Headingley? They boast one of the most healthiest squads in Super League. Even though Harry Newman is named in the 21-man squad, he might find himself outside selection again. Jack Bird was that good. But listen, this is a great ground. I'm really looking forward to this fixture, and I think the Rhinos fans, I think the Rhinos players have been looking forward to it for a long, long time. So let's hope that the 12-year wait is worth it. Join us at 10 to 8 live on Sky.
Good man, Barry. Thanks very much. Hard to see Brad Arthur making any changes after the impressive victory over Warrington last week.
No, I just want to pull Barry McDermott up on something. He ran in front of the South Stand, encouraging the fans to boo Sam Tompkins's inclusion in the greatest 13 of all time.
Didn't take a lot of encouraging.
Do you know what? He didn't have the decency to stand in front of a full Bradford stand. He's done it while the stadium's empty.
I don't know that they pick on Barry in the same way as they would on
Maybe
Sam.
not, maybe not.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here very quickly, but just a very, very brief word. Witness something special here today.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be a game that we'll be talking about for a long time. You know, when we're talking about 40 years of Super League, 50 years of Super League, and people are talking about Good Friday games and special moments, today's one. We've witnessed it live today, but this will be going on reels and highlights for a long, long time.
Yeah, sport delivers, doesn't it? How often does it deliver? You know, where you just think the game's done and then unexpected twist. It's why we love to watch live sport, isn't it? That last-minute jeopardy of things changing in an instant, and it did here tonight.
We say once more, thank you to the players of the Betfred Super League. It's our pleasure to bring you what you deliver to people here on Sky Sports. Lots more sports coming up for you on Sky Sports across the Easter weekend. Of course, Easter Sunday. Boxing for you, headlined by Dubois Harper. 7 p.m. it gets underway. Scotney Flores is on the undercard. Should be a good fight too. Sky Sports action for both of those. And just remember, we will be in Augusta for the Masters. Sky Sports Golf on Thursday, live and exclusive, day one, 2 p.m. for that. We'll continue our Rugby League coverage across the course of the weekend. We've got NRL action coming up for you. Of course, just a reminder tonight over at Oddsall, Bradford Leeds, that Yorkshire Derby returns, 7:55 p.m. on Sky Sports Plus. 4 live Rugby League games for you we're bringing you nearly 400 on Sky Sports this year. We have NRL Round 4 action with the Titans Broncos, 9:30 a.m. Sky Sports action and main event. And then tomorrow, from the Rivals round of the Betfred Super League, Huddersfield York, Warrington Lee, and then Catalan Toulouse rounds it all off at 5 to 6. Easter Sunday will be over at Castleford, where Wakefield Trinity roll into town, 5 to 3. Sky Sports Plus for that. And we'll bring you some NRL action to cap it all off on Bank Holiday Monday. Eels against the West Tigers, 7 a.m. Sky Sports action. Wow. Wow, a trio of derbies on Sky Sports today. We've already seen Hull KR beat Hull FC in the 250th Hull derby. We have just witnessed a miraculous comeback for St Helens against Wigan in this most famous of derbies. And coming up later on tonight, the Bulls are back. They'll butt heads with the Rhinos here on Sky Sports.
Bradford leads. A big match indeed.
Here they go again. Here they go again.
It's a battle here, big battle.
This is a game, isn't it? This is a real game.